Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 314th episode of the Geekverse podcast. I am the Clown Prince of Podcasts, Travis Snell.
I am the Adam Harcaster, Dylan Musk. I'm back, baby, after like 3 weeks. Not that long of a go.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Fired him for some tweets. Brought him
Not
back
that long,
Disney
Dylan.
style.
True.
Yeah, went golfing with Sony.
Made some really poor tweets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tyler Briggs. Hello.
I'm the Steelcase champ, Taylor Field.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The champ.
I guess we should. You're gonna give me flack? Is Briggs staying for the Marvel Ultimate Alliance review portion?
You fucking tell me. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Well,
why wouldn't he?
Because I didn't have the information beforehand that he had played any until about 10 minutes ago. So
Well, whose fault is that?
That's yours. You
That's
could've
a big assumption you made.
you could have said, "Guess
You're
what
like,
we're doing
Briggs
tonight."
is coming to the podcast not
Okay.
prepared. Are you fucking nuts? This guy always comes prepared.
Either way, what we will be talking about today is we're going to do some movie news, we're going to do some TV news, and then we're going to end it off with Clay Wilms. I think that's how you say the last name.
Clay Wilms.
For
Wilms.
ages, I thought your name was Matthews because I always think of the Green Bay
Matthews.
Packers tackler, Clay Matthews. So every time I saw it, I'd be like, oh,
That's
Clay
how it
Matthews.
went earlier. I asked Travis, like, what's the name of the patron? He's like, it's Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
No, Clay Williams. No, Clay Wilms. Confirmed.
I always think it whenever I see it
Interesting.
popped up, it's Matthews. I swear maybe you had Matthews at one point, but he's a big supporter. He's a Feige fighter, so that's
Hell
a
yeah.
$5 tier.
Yo.
You get the early content, you get After Nines, and you're going to be getting all those juicy commentary tracks in 2020 that we're recording. So that's going to end off the cast. We are going to be ranking every steel case that Taylor has. He's going to show them off. He's going to explain to you, the viewers, so that you know,
Wait,
like,
you say we? Isn't it just him ranking it?
why
would
No,
we
you
rank
guys
them?
are getting
I
it
think
early.
They're his
it's like
steel
a
I think
poll.
Clay said I would like you guys to rank
Oh,
them.
he did.
I'm
I
going to
reread
rank.
it earlier.
Now, is this
Yeah.
rank? I just want to confirm. Is this ranking the actual film within the steel case,
think
where
just
we
the
watch
look.
it and rank it, or just
I'm-
the design of the case?
I'm going
itself?
based just on look. Even if it's the shittiest movie of all time, if this case is great for Suicide Squad, it's number one.
I would still say, like, you guys would have to decide, like, you'll have to write down, like, a list, and I don't know, maybe decide amongst you, like,
Yeah.
or you do your own rating system.
I'm going
totally
pure
up to
aesthetic
you.
on this. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
want,
too.
Oh,
if
yeah,
I can
100%.
scratch it and it
That's what I
has a
was
smell
thinking.
to it, then that's
Oh, no.
instantly going up 3 to 4 spots. in
Oh,
my book.
the smell.
And if it doesn't, it's
the
going down
scratch
10.
and smell. The
scratch and smell.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, I want to see some
marketing.
holograms. I want to see some
Ooh, holograms.
eyes looking at me.
There's some juicy
It's
ones
like a
in there.
movie.
I want to see
picture?
that I Am Legend steel case that I fucking hope you have, because that's the only
I
steel
Am
case
Legend.
I have.
So we're going to be doing that at the end of the cast. You stay tuned. Movie news. We're talking DC Birds of Prey. We're talking Batman. We're talking Spider-Man being back. We're talking about trailers, this and that. Video game news. We're going to review Marvel Ultimate Alliance, DLC Curse of Vampire, and then some other gaming news. And yeah, that's your little rundown for today. Before we get into that, Taylor's pointing me because he's going to announce something, and then we have a bunch of announcements
no.
to quickly get through.
Taylor's announcements always scare me.
I just want to say congratulations to our new Geekverse Blockbuster Poll champion, Spider-Man.
Shout out to Spidey.
Oh yeah! I just want to say thank you to everyone for voting. He just clocked in at 6:00 today as champion and joined the Hall of Fame.
How many
with everyone
votes
else.
did he have at the end? It was probably around
He had
180.
like over 250
Yeah.
compared
Holy
to
shit.
less than 200 for Iron Man.
Damn.
Spider-Man fans'
Iron Man
Facebook
got-
page really made a
Wow.
difference.
That just came out of nowhere too. That
That's
like,
They really
big
rallied.
showdown.
They're Like,
It's
we
a
need
big
to win this
showdown.
poll.
Wow.
They don't know who our page is. They're like, we
No.
need to win this.
At least
Yeah.
like the page, and I don't care. I've given up on the polls. At one point, I thought these polls were great, but with Stan, they're fun. But like, man, it just takes one fan group to attack the page, and that person wins. It's just ridiculous. But they're fun for debate and conversation. And
oh yeah.
yeah. So that's fun. Do you want to tease the poll that's going to be happening next?
I
on
think I'll
Facebook?
probably just say it because it'll drop like any day.
Well, that's what I
now.
meant by teasing.
Oh, tease! I thought you meant like just a little poke, but
no.
Just a
shout outs.
little
Like I
poke.
can't remember the gentleman's name, but he said on the Hall of Fame, he's like, you guys should do a Halloween one for October, and I
Oh.
commented, but like, yeah, 100%. We're gonna do a Halloween themed poll coming up here in a couple days. Here,
Horror
just a
icons.
short
Halloween
one.
the movie or Halloween like spooky themed?
Spooky theme, definitely
Okay.
not based on just the movie.
So is this
Hor-
like, is this going to end in October?
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's
Okay,
short enough that it will
Okay,
end
cool,
within
cool.
and before.
You got
31st.
people in there like
Interesting.
Chucky, Freddy, Michael, Jason,
Pinhead, Leprechaun.
Pinhead, Leprechaun.
The
you
Alien?
got Pennywise. No,
That's pretty good.
we gotta save that for a sci-fi poll. That's
Okay.
what we were
Mm.
thinking. So it's a
Cool.
small one just for Halloween,
Mm.
spooky season. I thought you were gonna shout the guy that said he wants to do a porn versus, and I'm like,
Well,
oh,
I
yeah.
thought
I'm
about
surprised
it,
at how
but-
many people were into that idea or reacting
This is
positively.
the second
Like,
time.
what
Like a-
fan base
a
do we got
porn
going on?
poll?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
porn stars.
This
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
second time it's been
There
mentioned.
are other
actually.
places for those polls.
Maybe one
Yeah.
day. Maybe on the
like
Patreon.
the like $15 tier patron.
We'll have to create an After 9 Geek First
Exclusive
page.
poll.
Right.
We'll do After 9 Geek First page, and it'll be just porn
We'll have to make
polls.
like a separate Patreon that's separate from our current one, just so we have a few layers of
We could just
disconnect.
have a patron tier that has access to like an exclusive Facebook group where we have the behind the scenes polls.
Yep. Shout out to Carolina
Sounds like a lot of work,
Sweets.
so maybe with
It is.
She'd be getting my
It is a
vote.
lot of work.
Carolina Sweets.
Carolina Sweets, yeah.
That sounds like some sort of cookie peddler.
Maybe she was that before, but now she's doing something else with that mouth. So what is happening today? Well, actually, a few more plugs. My God, it's less than 24 hours when we're recording this. I can't contain myself. Joker, I can feel it. I can taste it. I'm going to cry. It's so fucking close. I was listening to the soundtrack all day. Our score. We didn't score the movie.
Scorsese.
Not yet. Our review will be dropping this weekend sometime late Friday night or Saturday morning, depending what time zone you're in. So we'll be doing that. Non-spoilers, spoiler review, the whole shebang. It's been a very controversial movie. Talked about comedy's not allowed with this woke culture and it's going to kill us and all this stuff. Finally, it's here, so that's going to be a big, juicy review. What are you going to say, Taylor?
I read a headline about the police officers hiding in the theaters to employ their strategic tactics in case anything gets out of line.
Yeah, it's a little blown out of proportion, but you know that's what the media does. So we got that going on. The 24 The 24-hour Extra Life charity stream is happening, and we got a bunch of announcements. First, I want to say, Taylor, did you see Kirkland and my brother's video today?
I did.
So my
Yeah.
brother has a big mouth. He said that Kirkland Patzer could beat you, and he could beat me in a 3-way sports title match. And I think I'm down to accept that. I don't know if Kirkland was as confident, but I am down to accept that if you are.
I won't say that 3
Only
ways.
if he is? Why only if he is?
What?
Why can't you just accept it on your own regard?
I don't know. That was the contract I got sent today. I don't know. My brother works a mysterious way. You know those hunka guys.
They are pretty sketchy.
That was the thing.
They love fine print.
Because
Like
Kirkland,
their whole contract is just fine print. Like you can't read any of it. Yeah.
Kirkland's beat me, and Kirkland's beat Taylor, so I guess he wants a bigger challenge. So you going to accept this match? 24-hour stream, November 2nd?
3 ways are my specialty, so, you know.
Well, there you go. Kirkland Patzer, we're coming for you. Yeah, you know what? You've beat us, but guess what? Taylor's beating you. I've beat you. I originally 2-0'd you a long time ago, so you know what? Not going to last on my brother.
Remember when he 3-0'd you in the...
Yeah, but remember the very first sports title match ever, and I just dominated him? Quickest match of all time.
don't
UFC.
Caught me off guard. I
Yeah.
totally thought, is it over?
5-second
Is that it?
match. Yeah. Go away,
that it?
Kirkland Patzer. So that's happening. And the other,
Kirkland
there's a
Piazza.
few things that are going to be happening as well. So last year with the team match that I had against Briggs and Sarah, I need a partner. I made a deal with Dilmus to give him some chairmanship for a little bit because I just need a partner, and we're team champions. So that's cool.
Sure
So,
are.
but that year's coming up, so people have asked and people have wondering what's going to happen with the chairmanship, and I'm going to be taking it back for a little bit, but I'm not going to actually be taking it back because I'm just going to be a 50% stakeholder. And the reason that is because a certain somebody needs somebody on the sideline to, if they're in a match, maybe make a ruling or whatnot, because Taylor Field, you've been complaining for weeks, your mystery partner is going to be, or your mystery opponent on the November 2nd 24-hour stream in the tournament is going to be the one and only Dilmus returning to singles action starting November 2nd full time.
That's
That's how it's going down.
Dilmus
That's
All
it.
this hype and secrecy just for this kind of a reveal.
He hasn't competed in 3 years. What do you mean?
Yeah, and he's gonna be rusty. I need a real challenge.
What
Okay.
do you think about that, Dylan?
I can't wait to mop the floor with this poor Ghost Rider's remains over here.
Oh wow! And that,
I'm in.
And that match, we haven't announced the games yet, but you fans are going to decide what these guys will be playing. The day of the stream, we're going to throw up a poll, and live, you guys are going to pick the match, and
It's pretty scary
who
stuff.
knows? And then Dylan Muss, I'm going to lend it over to you to make the big announcement. What's going on with the 4th
Right.
annual tournament this year?
So typically, and last year's, of course, the last 2 years even, we had like a main tournament. Everyone competes in that. Everyone who's up for it, and the winner gets a cheat code that they can use for that whole year. But so I was over at the Geek First office. It's over in or the Gauntlet office, I should say. It's over in
two
Lincoln.
separate
It's in
ones.
Lincoln, Nebraska. That's where the headquarters is. There's
With the porn stars.
a lot of porn stars. It's like a 57-story tall building. It's really big. So I was over there signing some contracts because I'm still technically a player, but I was handing over the chairmanship. Handing over the keys, as it were.
50-50.
Yeah, and so we were mulling through some contracts, some agreements, and we noticed a clause in the fine print. I don't know if the Hunka Hump guys are up to this. I don't know who did it, but deep in the fine print, there's a clause that if a player is inactive for a certain amount of time, then they lose their belt. Meaning that Tyler Briggs is losing his main championship belt
Yikes.
due to inactivity. since he's been dodging matches. He's dodging the 24-hour stream. So the belt is going to be what's up for grabs this year at the tournament instead of the cheat code. And because Kirkland is getting cheated out of this, calling out his cheat code, he is getting that extended for a certain amount of time, is I believe what is happening.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to figure that out because also we don't know who wins the tournament. So he might win the title, and that might be the case. But yeah, Briggs, you're gonna have to take that one out with Dill Muss. I was dealing with other contracts.
I didn't write these. I didn't write these contracts. I signed over to be a chairman, which I did.
This is probably from the Kyle
well.
era, I bet you.
I honestly don't know. I think these have
Kyle
been hiding dusty. They're from some dusty papers in the bottom shelf that this clause was found. So, sorry, Briggs, but
that's a big yikes.
This is what happens, I suppose, right?
So yeah, Briggs missing 24-hour stream. How do you feel about this, Briggs?
It's hard to argue about the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There's always next year.
You're always pulling something out of your ass to take me down here.
Who?
Both of you.
Wow.
Mostly Travis, but
I've not been cheering for a whole year.
No,
sneaking out, finding that fine print, really digging for it, dusting off the old contracts.
No.
And,
you see, this my chairmanship is up because I was.
But you earned that chairmanship off of my defeat.
Ooh.
Did I? Is that
kind of?
Yeah, I think so.
People thought the Wolf Order breakout was spicy.
I would disagree with that claim personally.
So we're gonna handle this at another date because obviously we have lots to break down. But that's what's happening. The 24-hour stream, the 4th annual tournament. It's gonna be 6 competitors. We will announce them fully. There's some matches that I did announce that will have to get rejiggered, so you'll see in the next few weeks. But 6-person tournament. It's like 7-8 rounds, and the winner will be the Geek First Gauntlet main champion. And I can tell you by the competitors we have in it, we're either gonna have the first ever 2-time Geek First Gauntlet champion, or we're gonna have a newly crowned Geek First Gauntlet champion. So either way, history is being made November 2nd. So be there. We're trying to raise $1,500. If you can help us out, we're gonna put on a show. We got lots of stuff. There's stuff we can't even announce yet that will be in the next coming weeks. So we got already 2 title matches, the tournament. Dill Muss is returning to singles action. We got tons of stuff, tons of good things happening. So if you can, just spread the love. Spread the love. This is for BC Children's Hospital. It means a lot to us as someone like myself and Jessica. We have children, and those can be scary instances, especially we'll get Jessica on here once to talk about stuff she went through, and BC Children's Hospital helps us out a lot. So even if you don't have the money, donate even 50 cents, but if you can't, share that link when we get to it because that helps people get eyes on it. It helps people also, if they can donate, help. And even then, just come watch. It's going to be a good time.
Just hop in the chat and say hello.
Yeah. We got stuff coming. So
help us in those wee hours when it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and we're really struggling to stay awake.
The accents break out.
That's when we need
Send us those porn star gifts. So you know what I want to send right now is us into Gotham. I screwed up the sentence, but that's what we're doing right now. We're talking about Birds of Prey first right off the bat because this is for that UK reviewer. So you guys don't speak enough of DC. The only reason we didn't because they've been quiet on news lately. It's just kind of been like Joker poster, Joker poster, Joker poster.
A lot
and
of
then
Joker
posters.
Yeah.
But I think now we're ramping up. Joker's about to be out. Batman's casting. And then we got Birds of Prey right now. Trailer. Taylor, what do you think? Because I'm asking you first because I feel that you're right in front of me.
It worked. We locked eyes and just had to happen. So, the Birds of Prey trailer, I really, really liked it. I thought it was a fantastic trailer. I'm just going to throw that out there. And I'm going to say, it felt real to me.
Real?
Like,
what do you mean real?
Interesting analysis here by Taylor.
I feel like these events that Harley was in, I felt like, she could actually die in this movie. Like, these feel like she's going through some serious, like, heartaches and, like...
There's stakes is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, there's stakes. It feels like there's a lot of weight on, like, her actions and, like... There's a brief scene of her standing there and these guys just whipped guns up on her and she ducked and ran with the other character and I was like, holy crap, like that's where it settled in. Like, well, I feel like she could actually die. Like there's like, stakes.
Mm-hmm. Real stakes.
I like
real
stakes.
Real
well
stakes.
done steaks.
Meaty stakes.
Not actually
medium
well done.
rare.
But the trailer just felt it had a nice flamboyancy to it. And I was thinking to myself like, I think, maybe DC listened to the fans bashing Jared Leto and this is their kind of like, well, we're going to nudge him aside because maybe we didn't like him either. We're going to side with the fans. So we're going to, have Harley throwing knives at him and stuff like that. And I don't know.
Best
I think
part of the trailer.
I think it's a very cool spiritual sequel to the original Suicide Squad in a way. And I'm very excited to see what they do with it. I'm excited to see more. I can never pronounce his first name right. Ewan or Ewan? Ewan. Oh, that W eludes
That's
me.
why you actually call him Obi-Wan, not because you're
That's why
stars
I
on
call
it. You
him
just
Obi-Wan.
can't pronounce
Ewan.
the name. I
It's
figured
W.
out.
Greg.
But I'm really looking forward to see more of the characters kind of like pop up. I love seeing that hyena in there. That was like super cool. Like,
yeah, I don't know if his name is Bud or Lou, but he might be named Bruce because there's a photo of Harley Quinn with a dog collar around her and it has a Bruce tag. So maybe they have named it differently. But in the animated series, which she debuted in, Joker and her had hyenas for pets, and that's what it's kind of a tribute to. Is, you know, of course, Harley really loved them and Joker really didn't give a shit about them, but you know, she got them in the divorce. So
I loved how the trailer was kind of concluding with the explosions and everything. And she's just walking out. It just felt like, I don't know. It felt
blowing up Ace Chemicals. By the way, people have zoomed in. Ace Chemicals is that turned her and the Joker into this crazy mess. She was blowing that up. So clearly, there's some, you know, let the past die, kill it if you have to going on.
Oh, big time. Do you think we're gonna see any kind of Joker like? Obviously, I think there is those scenes of him like throwing clothes out the window or something like that.
You always say that without context. There was behind the scenes shot of Harley like doing a classic breakup where there's Joker in the window and he's like throwing her clothes out the window, but you never saw his face. So it was just a body double. I don't think you will see Jared Leto in this movie. In the future, that worries me because I feel like he's automatic like a villain for a sequel to this movie. But I think we're past that era, especially with This Weekend Walking coming up. I think we're done, and I think this is a way of... I think, honestly, if that was received better, he would be the villain in this. I think Black Mask has taken his place. Like, the way Black Mask is like, you need me, Harley. Like, that sounds like it was just written for Joker, so I think they've just been like, and then put you in there instead and be like,
let's
let's
make it fit for a different character.
Yeah, and he's doing Morbius now. He has his franchise. So I think they had a sour relationship after Squad because he got a lot of his scenes cut for I think good reasons. But either way, he was not happy about it. He said there was I don't believe him, but he said there was a whole movie that could have been based on the stuff he shot. I don't believe that because Jared Leto, I don't believe lots of things he say. But let's say that was true and that all got cut. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed too if you like shot for months and it's like, yeah, we put you in the movie for 5 minutes. Like, well. Screw you, right? So I think it was just like Harley and Joker. I think it was a bad breakup.
Okay. My next question is then I'm really wondering like why Ewan,
you had it right the first time.
Why he was like saying those things like you need me and like putting up such like a fight with Harley in that sense. I'm wondering like what the story is like maybe.
So I was gonna wait till I go, but I think what's happening is so she's broken up from Joker. I think either she tries to find somebody else to attach herself to, or maybe he's like purchased her because there's a part where Black Canary, she's the singer, she's in a club with her at the opening when she's like, oh, Harley Quinns are just that we serve and everything like that. I think she is the property of Black Mask somehow. Maybe even Joker sold her to Black Mask and she's running away from Black Mask. And I think Black Mask, he loves art and stuff like that. I think he's going to use her like, look, I have the Joker's ex-girlfriend as one of my dancers. Wow. Like, look at this trophy. Oh, yeah, that's Roman's really a fucked up guy. I love, there's been some rumors about the changes of him, but I love there's one moment where all those three people are hanging and he just does like this and they slit their throats. Like, they're nailing down the viciousness. They're doing the flamboyant thing is a bit, that's new, but yeah, I think that's why. I think he owns her or something like that. And I think he feels that, you're nobody without a master. You're nobody without a head honcho, and I'm your guy. So, yeah.
That funky word, was it emancipated?
Emancipated.
Now, what does that actually mean?
That's a good question.
I don't have the actual
no one
definition.
knows. Scholars maintain.
I feel like it is. It is getting. I'm going to look up a definition while you guys talk, but I think it's like almost.
I think it's like
rehabbing somebody.
It's like almost like a reset. I get the vibe of like back in Portal 2, you had to go to these emancipation grids, and they just kind of like. I can't remember if they killed you or just like refresh you completely or something, but I think it's
so not like a Rossetti equivalent, but like an actual.
A what?
Rossetti?
That makes no sense. You're just name dropping.
I know. That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't know. What is the dictionary definition of emancipation?
An effort. No, that's not it. Let's see. Is a legal process that gives a teenager who is 16 or 17 legal independence from their parents or guardians. Can be important legal too for guardians. So it's just becoming independent, becoming your own person, stuff like that. And I think that's fitting for Harley Quinn, who's just defined by the Joker, right? So I guess that's cool. That's cool. What it means. There you go.
I like the comparison you made to Suicide Squad because that's very much what this is, right? It's just like more like a brighter, more colorful movie with a bunch of goofy characters led by Harley Quinn. Just probably not like too much plot, probably more just like some fun sequences and stuff like that. It sounds like maybe we'll get a little bit more in depth on her because there is less of like it's focused on her instead of focused on like 10 characters that they're splitting time between. But I think this is probably a good route to take. It's a little more focused, a little more zoomed in, but still has a good mix of characters. I'm curious to see a lot of these characters 'cause I don't know many of them, like the ones surrounding her. The only thing that I was a little off on the trailer was the humor. The humor didn't hit for me completely, and I'm not sure why. Like I feel like her, like Harley Quinn's humor, just wasn't doing it for me. And I wonder if in the movie, it'll flow better when I have a better understanding of her character or something. But in the trailer, it didn't really do a whole lot for me. But otherwise, it's pretty decent. And I think it's probably of the DC movies, probably one I'm like most excited for. In the history of this DCEU,
just like the look and the vibe, or what specific? Because I know you said that in the group chat, but I wanted to wait to the cast. What is like the the defining factor?
Well, I like the idea of Suicide Squad, and I it's a fine movie, I guess. It's not all bad. Like there's some good stuff in there and some fun characters, but overall it was just like very messy. And I feel like this seems like from the get go they knew what they were trying to do, and it seems like, based on this trailer, it seems like they had like a set vision and they're achieving that instead of kind of just piecing something together. And like, yeah, like as you mentioned, like how much of Joker was cut in that movie. You have to wonder how much else was done, and random characters who are in it for like 5 minutes or something. It's like, what was the point of them at all? But it seems like this movie has a little bit more of like, okay, this is what we had from the very beginning. This is our plan. And then we're seeing it through and bringing it to light. So, I mean, obviously after one trailer, it's kind of hard to tell, but even like the marketing before, like they had that, I guess like even the couple teasers that we've seen, just short little clips. Yeah, it seems the It one is a good example. I think they have like a really set vision for this, and they're achieving it a bit better. And maybe it'll be just cleaner, less like, hands in the pot, kind of stirring it up. Which I think like all the DC movies have kind of had too many cooks in the kitchen, which make it just like this disconnected thing. But I think this one will be an exception to that, at least of what we've seen so far and what we've heard. And a good turning point. I mean, DC has been on the up lately. I didn't really care much for Shazam. I wasn't on the review, but it was fine to me. It wasn't really all that interesting. Aquaman's, it's got some decent moments and whatnot. But I think this
$1 billion movie too, so it was
definitely critical success. So I don't know. I think this one will be more suited to like my interests, whereas the other DC stuff, some of it's fine, but isn't really gated to like what I'm interested in. So
it's because it's in Gotham. Remember, we discovered last week Dilma's huge Batman.
Yeah, you guys had this very faltered theory that you're like, Dylan's just a big Batman fan,
huge, massive.
Which I don't know. Massive. I'm clearly not, but okay.
I don't know. Gotham, Harley Quinn. What I was gonna say for you, Taylor, this movie is the same writer as Bumblebee.
What is this? Is it what's his name? The writer, or am I thinking the director?
Yeah, he has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just the writer. Yeah.
Well, that's good because the writing in Bumblebee was fantastic.
Yeah, that was very critically reviewed well too. So
cool.
Tyler Briggs. I have no idea what you said because I think I've seen the first
trailer.
Oh, nice. So you check the rundown. So I will go. I think Dylan was talking about it earlier. DC. It sucks that Justice League happened, like for many reasons, but it's like whatever you think about the movies, like Wonder Woman happened, reviewed well, big hit. Aquaman, massive hit somehow. Like Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Aquaman, like $1 billion movies, just wild. But in between that was Justice League. But then if you go Wonder Woman, let's just ignore Justice League because that was a mess. Also, Zack Snyder had to leave because of personal tragedy. So you go Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, which I'm on Dylan's bandwagon. I think is very overrated, but it was reviewed well, did good enough for them. You have Joker, which is a controversial movie, but at the end of the day, it's getting reviewed well, and I think the rumors it's going to break the October box office record. It's going to beat Venom. And then if you have this, they are very much on upswing right now. They're on a roll, and that's what I just like, that they're doing stuff that's different. People have said it out before, like we got Shazam and Joker in the same year, and Birds of Prey is just a fun kickoff to the year, especially because we got Black Widow and Wonder Woman. It's like the year of the female superhero in 2020, so it's a fun way to kick it off. It's just everything about this trailer, the marketing, the posters, I've loved so far. It looks kind of Deadpool-ish, but in a different sort of light. And this is why I honestly think this is why it's a good thing, because it's written by a female, it's directed by a female, and that's what it looks like. It has a female gaze to it that looks something different, something that I've never seen in a superhero movie before. I love that it just looks like this wacky, wild, super colorful adventure. I loved the trailer. It was very cinematic with the music they chose. It looks like in this movie, Harley Quinn's going to have a musical number. So that's what I love. There's rumors she might be breaking the fourth wall. She narrates this trailer, so I'd imagine maybe that's the case, and she kind of does do that in comics now. So I wish we had a better backbone than Suicide Squad, because they were really back and forth with their relationship, and they kind of just made them in love. I wish that because the rumor was Warner Brother edited out all the stuff of like Harley Quinn getting hit by Joker and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird now that they're doing this like breakup angle where he was really bad. Where in Suicide Squad, it wasn't really the case. They were just crazy people in love. So I hope this is just the continue of them finding their footing. I think they dove way too quickly in the cinematic universe thing, and I think right now they're just focused on kind of like what Dylan's saying, just go make a movie, make it good, and we'll go from there. If we want to bring Batman in this at some point, sure. Are people gonna? I think they're gonna become what X-Men was. Where what's this continuity? It doesn't matter. Do you want to see Robert Pattinson fight Harley Quinn? Yeah, sure. Okay, that happens. Oh, but he's the different age. Doesn't matter. We're gonna do it. So I think I have no idea what they're doing, but I'm really liking it. I think just that opening line of Harley Quinn being like, you know what a Harley Quinn does, and she describes like the role. It's a servant. You don't have anything with a master. That to me showed that it's kind of going to be like Guardians, where Guardians was a fun adventure, but you had that emotional tie with Peter and his mother. I think you're going to have that same thing with Harley, where it'll be a fun, wacky adventure that people will love, but I think you're going to have her really overcoming and realizing like, man, she was with a terrible person and she's done terrible things. Technically in this continuity, she killed Robin. So, they kind of have to explain that at some point. So I think there has to be like some sort of kind of come to Jesus, and that's what it looks like it's happening in this movie. And the other thing I'll say is just, I tweeted this, but like Fox Marvel had Hugh Jackman, the MCU had Robert Downey, DC's like ace in the hole is Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie in this trailer, there's just moments where she's running with the shopping cart and laughing, or she's going down a slide and she's just holding the hammer and she's laughing. She's just perfection, whether it's the animated series or the comics. It just looks like she's ripped right off the screen. So I think even like Suicide Squad, if this movie ends up sucking, I know I'll enjoy her performance and what she does, because Squad was not a strong movie, but she made it work. And
it's true.
I've been saying this for a while. I just think this movie's going to be huge. It's coming that February slot. That was Deadpool. That was Black Panther. It's around Valentine's Day, so it's like a very girl-centric movie. So I think it's a movie that works for couples as far as like it's a girl superhero movie, but then dudes like superheroes. So, and I'm very, very excited for Ewan McGregor. I was worried because I heard all these reports that he's very flamboyant. That's not really Black Mass, but it looks like they're kind of doing a mix-up of it. And yeah, I love everything about this trailer. And next to Tenet, which is the Nolan movie, which we've seen nothing, this is my most anticipated movie of 2019, I think, so far, which is crazy to say, but I love everything about it so far. So
awesome, man.
Well, you'll see that trailer tomorrow before Joker, so
yeah.
Tell us if you enjoy or not. Other news in the DC world is, amidst all this Batman casting with Jeffrey Wright and Jonah Hill, there's this report came out that said more casting is going to be announced soon. So they said that Two-Face is up to bat soon, that Robin will make some sort of appearance. And then they're also saying that this may set up a Batman universe, as far as you have Batman, it might spin off Robin to Nightwing, and maybe Batgirl. They also did talk about the possibility of if or not Walking Phoenix Joker would be in that. We're going to save that for the review, because I don't want to talk about it until we've seen the movie, because I could walk out of the movie and be like, there's no way this could fit anywhere. But the rumors just said they see lots of success, and that's what you do when you get money. But what do you think about the possibility of having a, I don't know, semi-mini cinematic universe with Batman instead of the whole DC world? So, Briggs, you go first, because you didn't chime in on that Birds of Prey.
I think it's interesting, but I think it could work for sure. I mean, obviously cinematic universes are the big thing now for superheroes. I think it could work. I really like the extended universe of Batman. I think Nightwing is probably one of my favorite DC characters of all time. But it'd be an interesting route to go again with how the DCU has turned out, and then they're jumping right back into the cinematic universe. Yeah. I think I'm very much on board with the idea of what Fox was doing with the X-Men, where you just sort of make a movie and say, hey, this is my character. It doesn't have to kind of correspond with any of the other films. It doesn't have to be in the same universe. If you want to make movies with all these different Batman characters, who says they have to kind of mix and match and go together very well? You can just make a fun story with the character. So I don't know if I'm super on board with it, but it has potential for sure. But I feel like you're going to hit a bit of a stone wall with what you can do with it, I guess. I would say, like, with the MCU, there's so many different characters that you can sort of spread out over a very long time and then build into something that the MCU has created. Whereas with this, you've got, you can sort of get the, I guess, cinematic universe started a little bit earlier in that there's less characters, at least that I know of.
Yeah. Like, I think it would be kind of those three kind of just holding the charge. And then, maybe an Alfred movie.
Feels like it would still end up rushing into a sort of big get-together thing. And, I mean, it's hard to say whether or not they do it well, but looking at their past performance, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm not super keen on it. I'd love to see more films about those characters, but I'm not super keen on them having to share a cinematic universe.
Yeah, it seems like just a really risky move. Like, why? I don't really understand why they're announcing or talking about this stuff now. I feel like you wait.
They didn't. This is like scoopers. No, they didn't put this out. This is someone being like,
Yeah.
I've heard talks of.
Still, but I feel like they should just focus on making like these standalone movies and not worry about like spiraling it out into something else. I feel like they've carved out a nice niche, and like, yeah, I guess like Shazam and Aquaman technically take place in the DCU, but like they're very, very loosely connected, like maybe one or two lines, but it's not like they're building towards anything anymore. It's like they're pretty much just standalone movies at this point. Obviously Joker is completely standalone, and then Birds of Prey, as Taylor mentioned, kind of like a spiritual successor almost, I guess, still in the DCU, but not really connected to much outside of, I guess, Suicide Squad would be number 1 in the trilogy, if anything, and then Birds of Prey number 2, and who knows what they'll do from there. But I don't know. I think you should just take it one step at a time and see how these movies do, and see if people like this Batman trilogy instead of working on like trying to build it into a whole cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. And I think Batman's a big enough character. He's got like a million villains and a lot of great villains as well, that really you can do so much with just that character alone. I think just focus on that instead of trying to make it something like bigger than that right from the bat. I mean, obviously there's not like any official announcements that like here's our 10-year plan of 20 movies that we're doing or something, but I don't know. I think they should just chill out for a bit, work on their stuff one movie at a time, and you don't need to do a cinematic universe. Like Marvel's done something pretty unique and pretty cool, but you don't need to do that. Like the X-Men movies got along just fine with, I mean, you could call that a cinematic universe if you want, but really it's just like, a bunch of sequels, or it's a series essentially, right? It's not like they're spinning off into other characters really. So I think that's fine. I mean, yeah, some of the X-Men movies are kind of crap, but still I think that's just a fine way to do it, and that would work really well for Batman because he's got enough content there. So I think that's where I stand, but I'm not too passionate about it. If they want to build it into some big thing where each movie's, tying into 5 other ones, then whatever, do what you want.
Yeah, I think it's just tough for a lot of producers after they saw Endgame, and they're just like, man, like the portal scene, like we could do that, and I just wonder if that was just like,
it was like you gotta have that. You have to have the Endgame in sight from day one of like,
yeah,
we're not gonna get that portal scene for another 15 years.
Yeah. I think that's the only reason why DC not the only reason, but I think that could be one reason why they thought about dipping their toes back into this and trying it again. It's tough for me because I'm biased. I love Batman. I love the world. I always say it goes like DC, Marvel, and then Batman. I think that series, I think it honestly could hold a cinematic universe. There's tons of stuff going on. If you look at something, it's not happening, but if you looked at something like Birds of Prey, that could be in a cinematic universe Batman, because they're all Batman characters, for the most part. So I think they could really, really have a lot to work with, and it's one of the pitches that I've always had an idea to do. Is just, I think you can spin off a Robin, spin off a Batgirl. I think the approach that I want with this one is, if they want to do that, just have that in mind, like Iron Man 1, but don't build to it like kind of BVS did, or even like the Mummy did, of like shoehorning a bunch of stuff in. I think they make a great Batman movie, and I don't know if they'll do end credit scenes, but do the exact same thing on Iron Man. You cut out that Nick Fury scene, it's still the exact same movie. There's little nods to what could happen in the future, but it's not a big setup. Like, that's my problem with Iron Man 2. It's just like, this is coming. I think if they do have a plan, or if they want to try and have a plan, I think just go make that first one, and maybe an end tag, just do a stupid end credit and tease something, I don't know whether that's a Rom, I don't know if that's a Batgirl, but I think that's the route to go. I really want it because I think it can work. I think that world can sustain itself if you got enough good people around it, and also you have this time Matt Reeves up to bat, other than Zack Snyder, which I think Matt Reeves is a far superior director than Zack Snyder. So I kind of, if it was a lower tier director, I'd be like,
release the Snyder cut.
Release the Snyder Cut. I don't know if I would trust it. And I guess the other thing is to mention, too, they do have a new president at Warner Brothers. The old one went away because of a sex scandal. So there is new eyes there at Warner Brothers. So that could be a thing. Help. So far, it's been working out. So, like, she's only been there for a few months, but I just think even stuff like marketing with Joker and Birds of Prey, it's working out. So they got new eyes. I would be down for them to take a bat at it because, no pun intended, just, I don't think they got too much to lose. They did it and they recovered. I think they just got to make sure the films are good. But I'm all for that. I especially hearing that Raw might be in this is very happy to me, makes me very happy, because we have not really got that touched upon in movies, and that's one of the most interesting dynamics in any comic book. So I hope it happens, but I just want them to be cautious with it. But I'm all for it. If I can get me in Portals, but in the Batman Gotham verse, I'm so down. I want to be there for it. So, Taylor?
Arkham Asylum.
You know, I want it. I want it so bad, but you know, I don't think they should do it because, like you guys all said, you know, you make good points. It's just a little bit too early, and I think they're really kind of hitting stride where they're hitting off these standalone kind of films and then saying it's, you know, they're kind of a part of the same universe, but you don't have to worry about that. Just worry about the movie itself, and I like that. I would love to see Robin in there. I'd love to see, you know, Nightwing, Batgirl, all these different characters and all the villains as well. I would love for them to take the Arkham games and just splurch it up onto the movie.
Splurge it.
Splurge.
Yeah, splurge.
There's a word I just learned today. Splurge.
I
How do you spell that word, Taylor?
It's a word.
I want to get
it's
the
SPL.
All right, SPL.
And there's probably two ways you could do it, but I'm gonna do.
I think it's
ER.
OU.
OU?
Yeah.
That's
Splurge.
splurged.
It's UR.
Huh?
Dylan.
Yeah.
Splurge with
yeah,
a
do
blur.
the UR.
I'm
Well,
thinking
splurge comes out with
CHED.
SPLURGE. You're forgetting
No,
the
that's
E at the
splurge.
end.
No, I'm talking
Splurged
splurged.
is a legitimate
What'd you
word.
say?
Splurged.
like instead of G, it's TCH.
Splurged. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a T in there?
that might be a bit too sharp.
There's no T. It's just a CH.
No,
They're not too flat.
CHED.
Splurge. When it's Urban Dictionary. When let me read this by myself before you talk, and then let me read this so I can, because Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
I don't want there to be anything we read and have a Ron Burgundy.
It's not safe.
Yeah, not a Ron Burgundy moment. Go fuck yourself, Kelowna.
Yeah, no, I just think that there's so many things in the Arkham games that I just love so much from that world that they created. Like, they nailed it, and I think that's just something that should be represented on, like, the main screen. And I just think it would just be fantastic. Like I said, I really want to see Robin in there because all I have to go off of for Robin is, you know, the nipples showing through his armor.
You gotta watch
and-
Batman 66. He's in there too.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's
it's a
solid movie.
classic.
Well, the most
It's a
recent
good
one.
move.
He is coming back because I'm not sure if Briggs
Some
and
days you just can't get rid of a bomb, honestly.
no, some days you can't. I don't know if Dylan Briggs knows this, but the CW is doing like their Infinity War Endgame, and they're bringing back a bunch of classic people that have played these roles before. The guy Burt Ward who played Robin in 66, he's coming back for it as
That's
Robin.
fucking dope.
Yeah, and the guy that voices Batman all the Arkham games, the animated series, he's playing live action Batman for the first time. They're maybe
pretty cool.
trying to get Nick Cage, but I don't
hope
think
they get
that's
Nick
not gonna
Cage to
happen.
play Superman in there.
Yeah.
Did
Has
he
to
play
happen.
Superman? No.
He was supposed to. for Tim
Yeah, the
Burton
movie
one.
got canceled, unfortunately. It's a
Damn,
really good
that would've been
documentary. but-
wild.
Yeah, it was, and Christopher Walken was the villain as Brainiac.
What does splurge mean? Did you get the
So yeah,
answer?
splurge. When talking to someone, a bunch of spit in the form of little droplets suddenly comes out of your mouth.
Okay.
So you're just talking. So
I
much
wouldn't
that
use splurge to describe
I
that.
feel like there's an
No.
actual dictionary word that describes
there
that.
is.
I didn't
I
get
don't
it. You
think
can
so.
you can look it up, but that's the only one that came up.
It's not a real
Getting
word.
Splurged.
No,
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, good to
But
know.
that's how I want this content to hit the movie screen.
you
wanna
want to
get
splurge.
splurged.
You want
like,
Matt Reeves.
like the juice is coming out of my mouth. You know?
you want
Jesus.
Matt Reeves to splurge everywhere.
Matt
But-
Reeves can just do it all over.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense. We've talked
Splurging.
about there's like so many castings. This the movie apparently has like 6-7 villains. I think they'll all be cameos to try to lay down. That's the part that worries me. I just hope they're in there for the story, and then they say, "Oh, we could use these actors down the line." I hope they didn't be like, "Oh, and make sure you put in 8 villains, so when we make that Batgirl movie, she can fight Two-Face." I don't want that. If they're doing Long Halloween, it makes sense. It's a murder detective tale. He talks to all these villains, but I think they gotta be they gotta tread lightly.
Oh yeah, 100%. On that note, you know, if you look at like the Mummy, you got
Yeah.
all of this, you know, laying the foundations. They bring Tom Cruise
Right
into
in the middle of the
secret little
movie.
area
Yeah.
where there is Mr. or Dr. Jekyll, you know,
Mr. Hyde,
Mr.
yeah.
Hyde working
Big
low
mistake,
key,
big
and they
mistake.
show everything. It's literally like at let's say for Iron Man 1, they don't put that Nick Fury scene at the end, but in the movie itself, and they have Nick Fury
Yeah.
requesting Tony to come to S.H.I.E.L.D., and then you see like
And 20
Thor's
minutes
hammer,
longer, though.
Captain America's shield, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like even a full like hour-long scene.
No,
you know?
it was an hour-long scene. I just rewatched the Mummy, Tom Cruise Mummy, because Emily hadn't
Oh,
seen it, and she was just like,
goodness.
"Man, that's a boring ass movie." Like, yeah, it's not great. So,
It's got a lot.
or you could compare it to Amazing Spider-Man 2, when the Man in Black just walks by every member of the Sinister Six gear, and you're like, "Oh, we're setting it up," and then,
I
they
didn't. I
canceled
wasn't
it.
opposed to that. I actually liked that.
of course you
It
did.
was juicy.
It was juicy.
Splurgy.
But I think
What do you
they
think about
should.
the Rhino?
What's
No, I'm
that?
joking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think they should handle this movie like they would with, you know, look at like Civil War. They just threw Spider-Man in there casually. If they want to throw someone in there, they don't have to make a big deal about it. They don't have to do a whole big reveal. They could have, you know, Bruce Wayne just looks to Alfred and like, I'm gonna go to Brooklyn or something and go picks up Robin and brings him
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a Marvel thing.
Yikes.
I see.
Brooklyn doesn't exist in the DCU.
I see what you mean as far as like I would compare maybe not Spider-Man, but even someone like a Thunderbolt Ross in Civil War, where it's like, let's say it's not Jonah Hill. Let's say the Penguin was in this movie, but he's in it for like 2 scenes, but they just established this is the Penguin, or like they did with Claw in Age of Ultron. Remember, Andy Serkis was in 1 scene of Age of Ultron, then he came back for Black Panther. I think that's what they got to do with a lot of these villains. I think that's why I'm not worried, because so many people are like, oh my god, 7 villains. I think a lot of them are just going to be glorified cameos to set up the world, or just to set up, hey, if we want to bring Jonah Hill back as the Penguin in the next one, we already casted him, you know. So I think that's a good route to take. They just gotta take the MCU route, I guess. But and it'll be interesting to see what they do if this is a hit, because does that mean we have 3 continuities now? We have Joaquin Phoenix's continuity, we have the DCU, and then we have the Batman universe. But
that's not convoluted at all.
But no, but then that's the Fox way, baby. You know, that's what they can do. But maybe some people have just suggested they just say fuck it and they just have him be Ben Affleck's Batman, and they just don't even acknowledge that he's a lot younger. They
could
do it.
They did it with
yeah,
Rhodes.
They could.
So it's totally fun.
Rhodey.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here. Deal with it.
Easy way to market it.
It's Don Cheadle though this time.
Again.
I mean, you know what? If they do
Terrence
that,
Howard.
He retired.
They do that 10 years from now, it's a big hit. No one's gonna look back and be like, "Man, why did they do that?" You know, it's
100%.
Yeah.
As long as the money, you know, like I love Aquaman, but I watched it again this week, and I'm still always surprised it's $1 billion movie. But you know what? It's $1 billion movie.
Those
so
water effects, baby.
If it works, it works.
We're getting that.
Water people.
What are they like? The cave monster spinoff?
The Trench.
The Trench.
I doubt that ever happens.
Trench?
I hope it happens.
The
Yeah, those
Trench.
creatures from Aquaman and like the weird.
There's
like,
a
deep,
spin-off
deep.
with that?
They
James
said they're
Wan is
gonna-
developing one. Yeah.
James Bond.
James Wan.
Okay.
James Bond.
He's a real person now, movie producer.
He's making a movie about the trench creatures?
About
Yeah.
those creatures.
What the fuck?
Why does it
James
have
Wan?
to
Go back
be-
and make Saw. What are you doing?
Like, why
Chris
does
Rock is
Who
making
the hell
Saw.
wants
Why do
to
you have
see this
to
movie
make the
with
movie
fucking
over,
mermaids?
like Aquaman creatures? Just be like, we're gonna make a scary movie about scary sea creatures.
Well,
in
he
a
said
trench.
that because you need IP nowadays, and he said he really enjoyed when he did research for Aquaman, the trench creatures, and he wants to make more. People have speculated, is
That
it
doesn't
about?
surprise me. He's probably a weird fucking guy.
He's making another horror movie right now before he does Aquaman, but I think it could either be them how they turn in the trench people, or what I think would be great is just like following some normal humans that get caught in the ocean and they're dealing.
That
with
would be
these.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that scene Aquaman was definitely probably my most
100%,
favorite. Like
that's
it was
great.
And then
scary.
there's
It
weird.
was part of your
like,
most favorite.
There's references
Quite a way to
to
describe
it.
Atlantis and stuff, but then
You don't see it, you know.
Yeah.
You don't see Aquaman come
it's
up.
from like a regular person's point of view. It's like, what is all this?
yeah, like
I'd
have
be
you guys
down to
ever-
see their society, just how they work, like their markets, their schools. I want to see that sort of
Maybe you
stuff.
get something like Jared Leto's Joker out
No.
on a boat.
No,
out there
actually, I would.
dealing with
If it
those
ends with him
things.
dying, if that's how they write him off, that'd be a wild movie. That'd be so great. Hunka hunka. What was I gonna say? Have you guys ever seen that movie Open Water?
Yeah.
Like when they loot.
No.
Oh,
Never heard of it.
It was like they tried to make it like a Blair Witch. Like this is a real movie, but it's like
God.
this doesn't make any sense. But it's like
Stupid.
they go scuba diving and the boat like leaves them, but then there's shark infested water. So it's like how can they survive?
Oh,
yeah. So they
yes, I have seen this.
yeah, do that with the trench movie, dude.
Wait, that was supposed to be like a real movie?
That's what they were trying to. I thought they were trying to go for, right? I thought that was the whole thing.
I thought it was just like playing with a cool new like camera thing.
maybe it
Like
was.
I think it like
playing
I think it
with
was
the
pretty. I just feel like I saw this as a young child.
I think the movie was going for that, but I think the marketing of the movie was just like a scary tale you wouldn't believe, and it's just like, well, that could be any movie, but they're trying to make it seem like, and because I think they casted like no-name actors and
Yeah.
stuff like
The
that.
sequels don't get any better. The third one was garbage.
I'm surprised this has a
Absolutely.
sequel.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
there's
It was a big,
There's
it was
sequels,
a big
yeah.
hit. It was a big hit,
Oh,
but they're straight to
those
DVD,
water.
aren't they?
Or
I
straight
just
to
kind of
want
streaming,
to
I don't
make
know.
sure we're talking about the same movie.
I think, yeah.
I don't want
Yeah,
to.
I don't
I don't
wanna
want to see it.
spoil it
I just want my
in
head
case
to fill in all
anyone
the
else
details
wants
because I don't know
to
anything
see
about
it.
this.
If anyone goes to the Big Bad Booty Daddy Patreon tier at $250, well, actually, I guess no, at $25. What is it? The best tier yet. If you want to go. You can request any movie we could do a retro or a commentary track on. So if you really want us to talk about Open Water, you can become a patron.
or
and
you
get
could pick something else.
Yeah.
I would watch it
Or-
again.
Dylan's not
Like
in that
Sky
idea.
High.
You know what
Yeah.
Dylan's probably in the idea of?
What's that?
Spidey being back in the MCU, his
Oh.
next favorite hero to Batman. So last week it came out that, of course, the day after we filmed our newscast, is bastards. But weird, Feige having the week of his life. He's taking Ghost Rider back, he's doing a Star Wars, and he's gotten Spider-Man back. What do you guys think about this news? And also I'll ask you, the deal was they did a deal of 25%, I guess they're producing the movie, but then 25% they get back on first dollar of the ticket, and that means like that before they have to split up between marketing all that, they get it on the major profits. So one, obviously,
bad.
just what do you think about that? But two, where do you think he would appear? Because the deal is right now for only 2 movies. One, Spider-Man 3, a Sony produced one with him still in the MCU, but then him making one more crossover appearance. So what do you think? And where do you think that movie would be?
I like to see my man Spidey back, but I'm mad. I'm mad at Disney because it's just so annoying. Between this and the James Gunn thing, like I feel like a lot of this is just to fucking get in the news, to get some PR headlines. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really look into that stuff of like the Sony stock and stuff, but like, fucking with Sony stock when they're going through all this and whatnot. It's just annoying that like the back and forth on this. It just feels like such a waste of time. Like, why don't they do this behind closed doors and not jerk us around back and forth? Like, yeah, it makes for some, I guess, interesting topics, but at the same time, I feel like it's just such a waste of time.
Technically, Sony put
Because nothing, because, at the end of the day, what does this news mean? It means nothing. It means that nothing has happened, like, between where we started and where we are now. Yes, Sony gets, like, slightly more % off a ticket. I don't care about that. They both have an insane amount of money. I don't care if they get, like, 10% more on a ticket.
I would counter that. Taylor brought up a good point that we could be witnessing the writing out of his Spider-Man. So that is something that's changed, right? This might be either 2 things, either a placeholder deal to be like, let's work it out more, or it's going to be like, hey, let's not end with him having the big cliffhanger. Let's do 2 more, end that story, and you can go off into Venom 2 and have some fun.
I'm just annoyed. with Disney fucking around.
But not Sony
not
either.
necessary.
Not Sony either.
What's
Because Sony put out the first statement of it wasn't public
Right.
until Sony's like, oh, Kevin Feige's too busy.
I'm annoyed at both of them, but I just put the blame on the big D.
So
Fair
is
enough.
Spider-Man back on the table for Disney?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Yikes.
For 2 movies.
2 movies.
2
One
more.
Spider-Man
Wow.
3, and then the MC one. You got to start reading the crew group
Wait,
breaks
Spider-Man
breakdown.
3?
What? Yeah. Spider-Man 3, sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah,
and Far From
okay.
Home. So that's Spider-Man 3,
Yeah.
and then one more like crossover.
Where were you
movie.
1 minute ago when Travis explained this?
I was reading the thing about open water, making
Oh,
sure
you
we're
were reading
talking
about
the
open
same-
water. You were missing
You know
out
what?
on crucial news to read about open water.
I said, give me a second to see if we're
Aye.
talking about the same movie here. And then I pulled out my phone.
So you want us to stop? You want us to pause the cast so you can make
no,
sure
I'm
you're
just
thinking
trying
about the right
to
open
interject myself into this new conversation.
water.
So what do you think about this? And then Dylan, you can answer too again after. But where do you think he appears in the MCU now that he has one more movie? And even then, do you think this is
That's
a
not his
movie?
own.
Yeah, not his own.
Movie.
Yeah.
Mm. I was gonna say Bucky and Falcon, but
Not a movie. Yeah.
not a movie.
I guess technically they could, but I don't think they'll put it on Disney+.
I want to see with Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Okay.
That's what I want to see.
Okay.
I have no clue where they might actually put him.
Okay. And do you think this could be a placeholder deal, or do you think this is them maybe writing the character out?
They'll definitely leave it
I think
open-ended, right?
placeholder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the amount of love for Tom Holland is just like it's a risky move to write him out.
Mhm.
I think they, even if he only gets like his 3 solo movies, I think they keep it around for those crossovers through I don't know, another phase or 2 at least.
The Morbius movie.
I think they would definitely still have to make those movies. Sony, I think, has to make a movie every 4 years or they lose the right to Spider-Man. So they always have to make a solo Spider-Man movie.
Sony does.
Yeah, because that's in the
a
contract.
weird
yeah, but Spider-Verse
clause.
counts for that, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it has to be live action. It could, but either way, I think they would have to. I don't know if Venom counts, but I think Spider-Man
So
by
what's
itself.
changed? Because they haven't made one in 4 years.
Yeah, they did. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Sony, you're talking about the Sony-made movie, though, aren't you?
That is a Sony-made movie, technically. What happens is Disney makes it, and then Sony just gives them the money.
see.
They're like, oh, if you need this, but now it's like Disney's now paying 25%. So it's technically a Sony movie. That's why I don't actually think the Spider-Man movies will be on Disney Plus either, because technically they're Sony movies. Technically. So,
Gotta get that steel case, baby.
yeah.
Mhm.
Taylor, you suggested your little theory there. Where do you think?
What's the theory?
What do you think? Where do you think
I
he's
love Taylor's
appearing?
theories.
Do you think this is a done for him?
I think it's. I was actually thinking earlier today how we thought we were gonna get like our 9 movies, Sinister Six, the whole shebang, and here we are.
D scooper, D tier scooper. You know,
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It was a brighter age back then, but now we're unfortunately in this scenario. I am so happy though that he is back because it really hurt me. I bought Far From Home the other day.
Hurt you.
What?
It hurt.
Personally.
Oh yeah, personally. But I picture, Feige, he's doing things. He's like Mephistopheles from Ghost Rider, whipping those contracts out, getting people to sign them.
God.
You just
That's,
name drop Mephistopheles?
Yeah, wait, what?
That's a strong reference.
He's just the devil, isn't he?
Well, I didn't want to call him that because that's a bit rude, but I'll call him the contract guy. You know, he's
He's the
checks.
devil. That's who he's playing.
Cracking
know,
nicks,
fine.
smacking checks.
That's a good. I appreciate this like a relevant Ghost Rider reference. Well done.
Well,
You can count on Taylor for that.
I have to drop it in there because I need him to put Ghost Rider in there. And you know what? That's where I want to see
Kevin Feige.
Spider-Man thrown into the MCU. I want to see him with the Ghost Rider in there.
No.
And Doctor Strange, actually.
That's
Put him
your
in that
answer
whole
to everything.
Think
So.
of yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pitch him for the Batman cinematic universe. You know, Ghost Rider. Feige needs to make that deal.
DC buys Ghost Rider.
But then, no, where do you realistically see him? I don't think you realistically actually see him with Ghost
I'm
Rider.
gonna go with a bold claim and say Fantastic Four.
Oh, that I'm
that's
so
right,
down
it's
for
bold.
that.
That's really bold.
interesting,
Give it to
actually.
me.
Yeah.
More Captain Schmarvel.
You know, I like as far as Spider-Man 3 goes, I'm happy because that will obviously conclude the story arc and figure out like, okay, Mysterio's plan will be kind of like concluded, you know, and we'll get more of like J. Jonah Jameson, which will be fantastic.
I hope so. Yeah.
I hope so. But that being said, now would this MCU movie be after Spider-Man 3 or before? Do we
They
know?
haven't clarified, but I don't know because if they do, like if they did Doctor Strange, that's before Spider-Man 3. I think it. I don't know what the contract states. I don't think it states anything, but I think it will be after Spider-Man 3. I think they're going to handle the whole cliffhanger there and then go into the future. And my prediction is they save him for whatever crossover is next. They haven't announced what's in
Young
20.
Avengers.
Yeah, they haven't
Deadpool.
announced what's in 20. Deadpool would be the ideal.
Oh,
Ideal
damn. Yeah, I forgot
that
about
and
Deadpool.
Fantastic Four I'm down for. I just think they save him for a team up movie because he's been in it. Every other one he's been in Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. It's all been team up, so I think they'll save it. We don't know what's coming out 2022. That is what Endgame came out this year, right? So that's 2020, 21, 22. That's 3 years. Before Avenger movies were always spaced 3 years apart. If there, I don't know if there's Avengers movie, but if there's a big crossover 2022 movie, I think that's where you'll see him. It's a year after, and I think they will write him out, but not in a way of like, oh man, Craven decapitated him. I think it'll just be in a way of like, I'm going to college and I can't superhero as much as possible, but it's a way of like, hey, if there's a big event, we could strike another deal, or Sony can go make movies that he'll move. I think they'll write him out in a way where he may never. It's the same way in Iron Man 3,
They
right?
just got to Madam Web it so that he can be in like
Oh,
alternate
God,
dimensions.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's where I am happy that Sony is not on their own. I defend them a lot, but when they announced the Madam Web thing, or it came out, it got scooped, and I was like, man, this is why they should not be making Spider-Man movies right now, because I just don't trust them live action, even though I was gonna have faith. But I think that they will do like Iron Man 3, where Tony Blue Ball suits, right? And then what happened a few years later in Ultron? I'm just still Iron Man. Oh, okay. I think they'll do that. Well, they'll write off in a way where he could easily come back. He's not going to lose his Spire powers. Miles isn't going to take over. He'll be gone, but he could come back at any moment. And plus, if Apple, my last point, there's rumors Apple might buy Sony. If Sony gets bought by a company, the contract states that company does not keep Spider-Man. The rights revert back to Marvel. So even if we somehow bought Sony, we wouldn't be allowed to have Spider-Man.
We don't have that much money, Travis.
No, not yet. We're nobodies. So if we head over to
make sure you
Patreon and help us buy Sony, and we'll make some.
Yeah.
You want to see that? We'll make that Toby Tom Garfield thing happen. I trust you, but
I trust you.
I trust in me. But I think they'll write him off in a clean way.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Like, I want the third chapter to be like, his conclusion and story, and leave it at that. And then, just casually, they could just, swing Spidey into another movie with us not expecting it as a nice treat, and then have him carry on.
Unfortunately,
his way.
you'll always hear it because they got to make these contracts, right? So there'll always be announcement. They'll never just surprise us.
I know.
And my gun to head, I'm not saying I think they're going to write them out. I just think if they did, that's how they go about it. I'm honestly a 50-50 if it's a write out or it's just a placeholder. It could go any way, especially after this week, right? So
yeah, I guess I meant in the sense like with Civil War, they just swung him in there, and then his story ended there, and that would have been fine if that was the only Spider-Man we got. Like, I'm happy we got more, but like they wrote him in I think enough.
I don't know
because
about that.
like obviously they put him in there with the
I don't know about that.
The anticipation, like, okay, you're gonna see him in more movies, but they trickled the heroes in there enough, like, it's in there, there's their story, and we can move along onto the bigger story that's happening. Obviously in an MCU film, they bring him in, there's gonna be a much more bigger story happening that we are more focused in, and they can just remove him from play just as easily because we're focused on the bigger story. So
yeah. Put him in the fucking Blade
There's so
movie.
many characters these days.
That's what I want.
The Blade
Put him in the
movie?
Blade movie. Oh yeah, they're always around in
yeah.
New York. It's not gonna happen, but
Well, it works because you got Morbius, Spider-Man villain. Blade hunts vampires.
I've dealt with vampires. I don't not need Jared Leto working his way in the MCU though.
Yep, that's how they introduced Blade as a cameo in the Spider-Man movie,
Oh,
and then he
boy.
gets his own movie.
Dylan, you're
That's
sticking
wild.
with the Fantastic Four. That's your prediction.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 4
Mhm.
because it's kind of fun. I do like the Deadpool thought.
Mhm.
So if that happens, if Deadpool is something that Disney wants to play around with seriously, then I could see that.
Yeah.
And that's like my number. That'll switch to my number 1 pick.
I just feel like they kind of have to. We went through Comic-Con and D23, and we've not still heard anything about Deadpool. No Disney Plus, no movie. You know, like I feel like we have to soon now, right? It's so big of a property. They talk about they're going to do it, so I feel like next Comic-Con, it's a long way away, but I feel like next Comic-Con we have to hear something about Deadpool. It could happen sooner. Who knows with this Sony news? We could one Thursday wake up and say, "Oh, Deadpool's going to be in the Eternals." All of a sudden, you're like, "Oh, okay, that's weird,
Holy
but
shit.
let's do it." So
That would be wild.
yeah, I just don't know where. Maybe Doctor Strange. I don't know, but I'm surprised we've still heard zero about Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, as that's a very lucrative franchise and nothing.
Maybe he'll lead the Young Avengers.
I don't think that's a
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah. I mean, with the with the Spidey contract as well, it could just be like a placeholder thing while they're still figuring out what they want to do with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because they might know we want to get these two to work together, but what do we have to do to get that first? They're still kind of working through the numbers and the pages and the fine print.
They probably still don't even know if Deadpool's going to be rated R or PG-13.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
again,
I don't think like PG. No, actually, no, I do.
everyone
It's
brace
gotta be
yourselves.
rated
It's going to be PG-13. I really
Brace
think
yourselves,
so.
yeah.
Brace yourselves.
I like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but
Yeah, it's not what you want.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Any other movie or TV news you want to shout out?
I don't think so.
I just watched that Six Underground Michael Bay Ryan Reynolds trailer.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's just like a group of they fake their own deaths and they're like ghosts, and they just look like they're a SWAT team for hire that do missions. So
They fake their own deaths? Because I thought they were actually ghosts.
Wait, what?
are you kidding me?
I didn't know what was going on.
Oh my god!
Who's directing it? Isn't
What's
it
this
Michael
called
Bay.
again?
Michael Bay, right?
What's
Yeah.
this called?
Six Underground. It has Ryan Reynolds.
Interesting.
It has, I can't remember the guy from Sherlock Holmes. It has your guys' favorite girl from Inglourious Bastards, who plays the girl who lights up the theater and everything like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's a few fun people in there and whatnot. So it's coming out the week before Star Wars. I'll watch it because I like Ryan Reynolds, and I
It's a Netflix special, yeah.
like Michael Bay. I like some stuff he does. I'm not a fan
Really?
of Transformers, but yeah, Armageddon's good. I love Pain and Gain. Pain and Gain is
Pain
fantastic.
and Gain?
It's a good
Yeah, have
movie.
you ever seen that?
No.
Rock, Mark Wahlberg.
really
It's about
funny.
these guys that are like they own a gym, but they get into crime, and it's a true story, and they're just really dumb, but it's actually really
cool.
good.
It's
so.
a true story that happened to Mark Wahlberg in The Rock, or
Yeah.
Maybe you got to watch to find out.
Oh,
Anthony
shit.
Mackie's also
Mark
in
Wahlberg
it.
is a very hardcore guy.
Yeah,
he is.
He's a gangbanger back in the day.
Go look up his past. He had a,
Wow.
splurging past.
Very
Yeah, a lot
interesting.
of splurging.
All right, we're gonna move into video game news.
One last question.
Okay.
You mentioned offhandedly. Did I hear like a
Offhandedly.
Christopher Nolan movie?
Tenant?
No.
Well,
Tenet?
yeah, I did
Yeah,
long
okay.
ago. Yeah,
Okay.
I
cool.
said that's one of
I
my
just
most
wanted to make
anticipated.
sure I heard right.
It's
Yeah.
in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna probably talk about that soon in an upcoming when we do our 2020 movie special, and we'll preview
Interesting.
it. Yeah.
I see that being a horror film.
What?
Oh, it is
Mhm.
it?
No.
I'm just saying, based on the name
No, so
alone,
there's
it
speculation.
sounds spooky to me.
Well, there's two type of speculation. One is like the A plus speculation, and one's like the C and D. The A plus is this sounds like he's just making James Bond, but with him because he's always wanted to make a Bond movie. He's a huge fan, but it sounds like the main characters are spies or assassins or something like that.
Mm.
They're all in suits. It's
Okay.
John David Washington from Black Klansman and the new Batman Robert Pattinson. They're the leads, but that's what it sounds like. It's a spy thing. The DC tier rumors that people are suggesting that it's somehow connected to Inception. That's the theory.
Yeah.
going around.
That is very much a
So where does
spy
my
sort of movie.
theory rate of it being a horror film? Is that like
That's a
below
full on
D?
F. That's a
Pretty-
full on
Okay,
F.
it's not like a B in the middle.
It's
there.
probably off the charts. Yeah.
I think
You could
Nolan
make
could
like a horror spy film.
I think Nolan, yeah, he could. I think Nolan might appreciate a horror, but I think it has to be only something like The Shining. I think maybe even something like Hereditary, Midsummer. He might be like, I think he's just too British and proper for that type of stuff. I don't think you'll ever see Nolan do a horror movie. I'd love that. See what that would look like. A full on Friday 13th directed by Christopher Nolan. But no, I don't think we'll get anything like
Fucking
that.
sign me up for that.
I'd see it
That'd be
just for
sick.
fun. Yeah.
I'd see that easily.
Cool.
You know what's sick?
What's that?
Is video games. And you know what else is
I
very
love
sick?
video
Ooh, I like
games so
video
much.
Is Marvel Ultimate Alliance Curse of Vampire. We're going to
Hell
start with
yeah.
that before we get
Curse
into
of
the
Vamp.
news. Because that is a
Map of
spicy,
the curse.
spicy thing. I'm going to start off to say I loved it. I have some problems with some of the modes they put in, and Dylan's going to talk about that as well. But all the problems I have are so minor compared to what we got in this DLC. The gauntlet can get really repetitive. I don't like the setup of sometimes it's like you got to kill like big boss battles, or you got to kill like they'd be cursed and they're just like heavier tankier enemies, but it's like only 3 might pop up in a mission. Let's say you got to kill 30.
I know exactly what one you're talking about.
Yeah,
so you have to play through like 4 times.
Yeah, and there's so many, and when they have no way to do this, so you just have to play all these missions. So I wish they kind of worked that better. I think they just made it that they wanted to do Infinity Trials, but not do Infinity Trials. So let's do a spin on it. So whatever. I still like it. It's a way for me to grind, get XP, whatever. The mode I'm honestly most disappointed in is the Nightmare mode. It's a new game plus with just a little harder enemies, and they're cursed and they got vampire bites. Yeah, so it's fine, but I wasn't expecting because if you go back, I said they weren't going to do story mode, but when I saw Nightmare mode, I was like, oh, I was wrong. They did something. And then when I jumped in, it's like, play the game, but this time it's a nightmare. It's like, okay, this would have more impact if we hadn't got a new game plus yet, but obviously we already had that. But the big thing is the Shield Depot. That's really cool. Lots of fun stuff to buy there, and trading points that I wasn't using. But the big stuff is the 4 characters. I like them all. I think they did really good with every single one of them. I think I'm the least impressed with Frank. I like him, but I just I don't love all his moves, and I think it's also not a character.
He feels a little clunky.
Yeah,
I like all of his moves on their own, but feel like together they don't necessarily mesh super well at all times.
No, and I was really wanting, and he didn't get to be like that. How I always talk about it, so I'm broken record, but like how smooth Nick Fury and Marvel Ultimate Alliance one is.
I was really expecting him to have a move like that.
That's what I want. He's so smooth, just all his other moves. So I like him, but he's definitely clunky, like Dylan said. I don't know if I'm ranking them or whatnot. I don't think I will because the top 3 are pretty tough. But Moon Knight and Morbius, I both love for different reasons. Moon Knight is Daredevil that I didn't get because I like Daredevil in the game, but he doesn't feel as fast for me as I would picture Matt Murdock. Where Moon Knight is crazy. His double jump is out of this world. He's a flying squirrel. You can just he's my new go-to guy if I want to. Next time I play like through the game, I'm gonna get him so I can just go across maps as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah.
I love his extreme. I love his moon slam.
His extreme is super trippy.
He has like 3 things where he'll like burst out, he'll do his little cross, and then he'll slam
got like
down.
That little theme on it. It's very like mystical. And,
Moon Knight, I absolutely love. Morbius is, I think, the most unique character in the game. I love he just has such different unique types. He has lots of fun attacks, but then also the freezing of enemies, or his like he has this like jump, this prowl, and he'll like bite people
you
and
just
then
like keep teleporting around.
Yeah, and then you'll just like burst out and hurt other enemies. He's very unique, very cool. I wasn't expecting to like him. I expected him to be ranked last, but the main event is I was excited because of Mahershala Ali hype, but Blade is and there's probably someone else that's gonna back me up on this. He's for sure in my top 3, but he's probably going to be number 1 because I was liking them all. I really enjoy them to high levels, but Blade, the second I play with him, I was like, he's so smooth and he's so quick and he has everything I like. He feels like arcadey, like Wolverine with his attacks, but then he can be tactical like Cap when he has that shield throw that ricochets. He has that with his little gauntlet things. His extreme, I think is the weakest out of the 4 actually. It's cool, but it's just if a boss moves, it's just useless, so I kind of don't like that, but everything about him, his look, his double jump, his moves, he is so much fun to play with. I think they nailed that down. So I loved this DLC. I had problems with it. I think there's some kind of mess stuff, but honestly, for the price, it was worth it. I cannot wait to see what's next.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same boat with the characters. Blade is now officially my first level 100 character. Ooh. He's and I have to put him in that number 1 slot now. He is my favorite. As Travis said, like the movement on him is just so crisp. Like he just the basic thing he has, like when you use a move, he doesn't immediately pop the move. Like you just kind of walk around so you can like position it really well. It just feels like something that like every character should kind of have on like most of their moves, but it just makes it feel like you can be really precise with that character. But it also adds like this kind of this sneaking aesthetic that he has to him. But he looks badass. I love. He has like such a good mix of moves. He's got the fast sword swipes and he's got like slower range moves and stuff. So
he's just a big shock, like the
and even his aerial attack is just like that nice. You like essentially, I don't know what he's shooting, like a cross or something, probably
some vampire,
something anti-vampire into the ground. So he's amazing. Probably my new favorite character. And Black Panther was my previous favorite, and to have them on the same team together, like they're just so badass together. It's pretty awesome. And then Morbius I like because he's just like so over the top. He's just like Wolverine, but with like a little more like crazy, a little more out there.
Yeah.
But he's pretty awesome. And then Yeah, as I mentioned with Punisher, I like a lot of his stuff. Like his extreme as well is just like really long. It's just he shoots for a while,
Over
and then
the
he
top.
takes out a grenade launcher, and then he takes out an RPG, and it takes. I think it's like the longest extreme attack in the game, but it just like fits perfectly for the character. I don't know. It's like a less serious kind of Punisher and more like a little bit goofy, and I'm kind of fine with it. I really like the sniper shot, and he throws out like this smoke bomb, and then he like kind of dashes forward and attacks people in the smoke bomb.
That's my favorite one.
It's a really cool move.
And he has synergies with a lot of weird people. Like I was playing with him and Thor the other day, and they were just popping off. I was like, this combo should not work, but it does. But yeah, I love that smoke screen. And he just comes out, and his slash. That's where this is a video game. The radius on that is massive.
Yeah.
For just like this army little hand knife, and he just. It's like he has one of Blaze's
He's always
katanas.
holding a gun, right? So it's always just like his left arm, which you have to imagine is like his weak arm, and he's still just like destroying. Destroying bosses with it. And then I guess Moon Knight. Moon Knight is the only one to me that I love aspects of his character, but I'm a little let down in some ways. I love the glide he has because it's a different take on a flight mechanic, and then it's cool because it doesn't take any mana up as you're flying around. I love his aerial attack as well. He throws his chain in the ground, like pulls himself down. It's pretty sick. And I really like his light attack because it's just like a 7 or 8 hit combo that's like it feels like it's only 1 second long. Like he's just going ham like anime style.
It's quick.
But I think what makes me feel a little let down is that his abilities I was a little bummed out on because I mentioned this on like our tier list episode that me, Travis and Taylor did a few weeks ago, that there's some like there is a lot of maybe like cookie cutter or like more
all
like,
the heavies have that grab someone and smash.
Yeah, like there's like
yeah.
set moves, and they did that so that they could have the in-depth synergy system they have, and I think it's a trade-off that works to the game's benefit. But there is a couple characters that do feel a little bit more formulaic because of that. Like I think for the main like base game, like Gamora and Drax to me feel like very basic kind of characters. Like all their moves you can attribute to someone else, and unfortunately Moon Knight's abilities kind of feel like that to me, where all of his moves other characters have. He doesn't really have anything too unique going on other than like the glide mechanic. So I was a little let down by him, but otherwise I think the characters are great.
I will show too the two things I forgot about Moon Knight is one move I really dislike. I don't like his heavy because his quick attack is so fluid.
Yeah.
But then his heavy attack, he like literally has to step back and he takes the big spear. It just I think breaks
I like
up the
that you
flow.
can at least like kind of position it while you're using it.
Yeah, I just find with the powers and the quick it breaks the flow. But for some weird reason, I'm not a big fan of. Like, I don't like Punisher's dash shoot. I don't like Cyclops' jump back and shoot. But for some reason, I actually like his, like, throwing stars back up. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice radius and it doesn't go back too far. Because I feel like he throws it and he flips quick and he's already on his legs. The other people...
Pretty fast,
yeah, like Cyclops and Punisher, I just feel like it takes so long animation. That's not the way I like. I like being fluid. So that move I really like, but the heavy I don't. I want to level him up more and see what it
yeah, I definitely still like having him on the team, and his animations look so great.
And
like
he looks beautiful.
His crescent like upward strike just looks so badass.
Yeah, that
and
full
his
suit,
extreme attack, as you mentioned as well, is just might be my favorite in the game. Honestly, it's so trippy and weird.
I could agree with that. Have you seen anybody get a recolor for him yet?
I have. It looks really nice.
Is it gold?
It's black.
Oh,
it's
just Batman now.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like the other three are kind of on the recolor status that a lot of the game, like base game characters have, but Moon Knight's looks really good.
Also, talk about the 4 costumes they had because we didn't talk about it on cast yet.
Well, while we're talking about the characters, Taylor, you just dipped into the DLC today. Have you tried any of the new characters yet?
I have tried.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but like
I've tried Blade and Punisher.
Nice.
I played through a bit of the Gauntlet, and I played through
the Gauntlet,
the Nightmare mode. I got up to like
You're playing Nightmare mode. You should have been playing the Gauntlet the whole time.
I didn't know which mode was to get the characters. I was afraid because I thought, if I asked him, Travis is gonna give me. Well, you should have been listening to the chat earlier. We talked about the other day, and I was like,
you'll send photos of Dr. Mahan's dick all week, but then you won't even ask us a question about the Gauntlet.
Well, needless to say, I got a good experience with the Nightmare mode, so I can talk about that. Yeah. So, I do feel a little bit disappointed with the Nightmare mode because I feel like how they've obviously amped up some of the enemies that you face off. I feel like they could have done a bit more because I didn't fully know what to expect in this DLC, and when I saw that they had that, I was like, oh, is this like an actual little bit of a story? Like, is this what has the characters attached to it? This is super cool. And so that was a little bit of a letdown, but I'm going to play through the whole thing anyways, regardless. But the Gauntlet mode, I really like. I think it's a lot of fun. I like seeing all these different like challenges that I can accomplish, and I like the ability of like trying to beat my score. and just powering through it. I really got a kick out of when Blade doing his gauntlet challenge, and you get to the top of Avengers Tower and he's just up there. It just reminds me of like I was envisioning an MCU movie of Tony Stark like going up there and like Wesley Snipes just sitting at the top of his
It's Mahershala Ali now.
Yeah.
Like, why is Blade
I
at
know,
the top
but
of the Avengers Tower?
This Blade reminds me of Wesley Snipes' Blade. Like just, and speaking of Blade, I absolutely love how he feels. Nice. He feels so good. Not even like 10 seconds in with this character, I was like, this guy just is like
special.
Prime. Oh yeah. And Punisher, I don't mind him that much. I think he's a lot of fun to use. I didn't know what to expect, so when I started attacking, he's just whipping all these fucking weapons. I was like, well, this is like 1 to 100 and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
He felt pretty smooth, and I mean, I can see what you mean by being a bit too clunky. To me, he feels like the Groot that we never got. I kind of like would have loved to see Groot and Rocket whipping out this kind of arsenal together, but that's okay. He's still a lot of fun.
Nice.
Groot and Rocket, notoriously the worst characters in the game.
Notoriously.
Yikes.
My opinion.
And so Briggs has finally played the game. We played through. We started on Nightmare mode because I think that's kind of the best way for someone first starting the game, because then we could experience the story. And we probably played for like 4 or 5 hours last night. You only played a couple of the DLC characters, but I don't know. What do you think of the game in general?
I enjoy the game. I think it's really awesome. I really like for the Nightmare mode the way they have they just give random bad guys random auras. I think it's a good way to just change up the regular gameplay loop that you'd expect from a game like that, where it really makes you a lot pickier about like your team composition and whatnot, as sometimes like I'd say like the most impactful auras are like the gravity ones that like you're constantly being pulled towards that enemy, or if there's like a fire one so that enemy's constantly doing AoE damage, so you have to focus them down, that kind of stuff. I remember one fight the boss had a I think we were fighting Corvus Glaive, and he had the lava aura around him, and so it's like he's
already a hard enough boss.
Yeah, he's already hard enough boss, and then you try and like use mana with range attacks to try and to do a bunch of damage. Then once you run out of mana, you can't do range attacks anymore, so you have to go into melee range, and you're just constantly taking the lava damage, and it's like, well, shit, this is tough. And it really it just adds another element to the game, which is really cool, and I think it's a great way to kind of make a more difficult playthrough rather than just beefing up the base stats of enemies and whatnot. So I really like that concept, and it was kind of cool to play through it with that as my first experience. So I'd be interested. I really want to try it just like on the regular mode now, just to see what it's like without all the hectic stuff going on.
It can really especially in the small arenas, like it can just
definitely
mess you up. Especially like fights like Electra or something, because in Electra boss fight, she has like 3 little enemies that you have to take them out before you can deal like much damage to her. But since she has that aura that's pulling you in, it makes this fun dynamic where like you don't want to fight her at first, but she's always pulling you in while you try to take out her outlier homies. To me,
official name of those characters.
Yeah, I don't know, the hand ninjas,
the outlier homies.
the hand ninjas, I guess you could call them. I'm enjoying Nightmare mode. I think it's just like adding a little bit more depth or a little bit mixed up to the formula. Just to make it a little bit more interesting to go back and fight some of these enemies and play through it again. And honestly, like even because Briggs is first experience in the game, so we're watching the cutscenes and stuff. I haven't watched those since release day, so it's fun to go through those again and just see them. And I mean, as cheesy as they are, and some of the fucking Gamora's voice actor, oh my god, it's so bad. But it is fun to go back and experience.
You always know when she's talking.
Yeah,
it's just like so different from the rest of it.
Phone that in easily. Any other points? I guess also was kind of like your favorite, which was cool because that's who you were excited for. Yeah. So it's good that kind of matched
good to be
your
like,
expectation.
I really want to play this character, and then it's like, I love this character.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome. And then like DLC characters.
You played some Morbius.
I only played Morbius out of them, but I absolutely,
we had Blade on our team the whole night.
Yeah, we had Blade on our team the whole time. But you were playing him the whole time. Which is fine. But yeah, no, I like the Morbius was really cool. I love the fact that you pointed out he just has this tiny ass cape.
Yeah.
And he's just like this he's like this really kind of like disgusting character, you could say. And then but then he's so like characterized and cheesy as with the rest of the game, like as the whole game is just very like caricatures and it's super cheesy. So it's like you have this like huge like menacing thing, and it's like hunched over, long greasy hair, and his face is all wrinkled and shit.
Yeah.
And then he just has this tiny cape and
Pure
this
white.
huge body, and it's like, it's so good. It just fits perfectly with the game. So
he's just flying around.
oh yeah, and like the moveset was super cool. The teleporting thing, and then just like the petrifying gaze.
Yeah.
Very fun.
I like that. I want
Super
to.
unique.
I want to upgrade him a lot because I always say I like having Scarlet Witch on the team because I don't play her that much. But as a CPU, she's just always constantly throwing
Dropping
out the
that heel,
heels,
yeah.
and I just want to get Morbius and get that all the way up because I want him on the team just constantly be like petrifying people and I can just pop off. So I'm excited.
Although I don't think
do
the
that.
petrifying works on enemies with a stagger bar.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
No.
what I thought.
Yeah. But those goons,
Gotta
those
get the
outlier
goons.
homies.
Yeah, the
Take them
Outlier
home.
homies.
Yeah.
Classic enemy
I got a
type.
question for you, Dylan. So you guys jumped into the nightmare mode.
Uh-huh.
Did you beef up Blade a little bit with cubes at first, or did you just go right into
So
that?
when I
with him
got
being level,
when
low
I got the
level?
characters, they start at a range from like level 20
He's
to 30.
21, I think. Blade was.
Yeah,
you get.
Frank
I-
was 11.
So of those
Yeah,
of the
I was
4
like, oh,
DLC
wow.
characters, I pumped them up with cubes to get them to around 40 to
Cube Rider.
40 to 50, around that range.
Okay.
And then for the whole night, and like since I've had Blade, I just have had 4 XP ISOs on him. That's why he's leveling up so fast. And yeah, we had him on the whole session last night. Like we were
Okay.
switching teams around, but he was
went
on the
from,
whole
like,
night.
He got probably like 20 levels that night.
Yeah, because we had him on the whole night, and we had 4 XP ISOs on him. Then I have some team ones as well, so he's getting
Yeah.
like plus 600% XP
shit.
or something.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was curious.
It's
'cause,
worth
like,
it, you know.
Being level 21 and diving into that, I was like, "Holy fuck! Like that's
Yeah.
impressive." You guys,
Yeah.
you got to 100 with doing that. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even
Jesus.
with the XP ISOs, like we had Drax on for maybe 20
I
minutes,
don't
and he
think
got
any
like
of us-
10 levels just from like these.
We weren't.
XP ISOs.
None of us were even playing him. It was just he was
He was
on
just
CPU
chilling.
the whole time, and
Just
he just got like
spinning
so many
around. We were
levels.
bouncing bullets off him. Yeah.
He was popping off with some of those synergies. So
Yeah. The XP ISOs can do some crazy things, man.
I
so.
gotta get those. I only
Yeah.
got one that's at 100.
There's
but-
I
and
only
you can
got
get
one too.
and you can get a couple
Yeah.
that are team ISOs, so they add XP for all 4 of your people. So it's like the 10 because you can get when you complete the energy hex, you get like 10% or something. But it's
Yeah.
like pretty much meaningless because all these ISOs give you like they start at 80 and you can upgrade them like around 100, or I think it is 100 where it maxes out. So yeah, you can really choose some XP and get some grinding out. So you
Yep.
definitely you just got to do like later level trials, and like in ultimate difficulty you'll get them as well, and probably in nightmare difficulty.
I imagine. Yeah, I would think.
Honestly,
we
we
were picking
were-
up a lot of ISOs.
We got a
in
couple
Nightmare.
like double A ISOs, but not a lot.
I
was
I had
kinda
no idea
surprised.
what any of them were. So
Yeah, we were mostly getting smaller ones, but
There's a complaint I have that unless Dylan knows a way,
Uh-huh.
can you only deconstruct 7 ISOs at a time when you're clearing the menu?
I think it's 10. But yeah, the ISO management is a big problem. Like that's
Very
something.
shitty. As
Yikes.
because the other night I just filled up 1,000. I gotta clear, and
Yeah.
that's just like boom. So I gotta select them all. It's just like, and all these complaints, even with the Gauntlet, I have a problem. I love this game. It's probably my game of the year. It's just I have so much fun. I'm gonna play this game for years. But just little things like that where I'm like, man, I'm gonna take like 20 minutes, 30 minutes
Yeah.
just to sit here and get rid of these ISOs. Are you fucking kidding me? So I meant to at that night. And I'm like, I just stopped. I'm like,
It's-
I'm gonna wait till I have free
Yeah.
time.
What I've made a habit of doing is just like at the end of my session, whenever I'm playing, I just spend like it takes me only like a minute or two to go
Yeah.
through and delete all the bad ones. I just go in, I highlight all the D and C tier ones,
Yeah.
bottom ones, and I don't even look at them because they don't matter.
No,
I just
not
delete
at
all of
all.
them. So that's kind of what you have to do. I think I just do it a
I'm
little
doing
bit
it now.
Do it a little bit every night at the end of your
Yeah.
session or whatever, and then it really helps to
Yeah.
make it not as tedious then. But that's something that they really need to change because as well, like the ISO still, if the text for the ISO like doesn't fit on the screen, it scrolls, even
Yeah.
though there's tons of room that it could like just loop on
Yeah.
another line. So they need to fix those UI.
You guys
things,
can
I think.
update it. You guys update a lot. in
It's
this
so
game. Yeah.
simple.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know how they haven't done it yet, but I don't know. I guess the rest of the update, like I like the gauntlet mode, but I'm not loving it as much as I would. I like the endless aspect of it. And I like the mix-ups. I like the challenge. I like that there's kind of little stories tied on them too. But the big thing for me is just the load times because you go into a level and then it's like, there'll be a series of like 4 or 5 levels. After you beat one, you got to like
Watch Endgame.
you got to
and come
hit
back.
A, and then it loads for probably 30 seconds or so, maybe 40 seconds, and then you got to hit A to go in. So yeah, every time after a level, you have to hit A twice if you want to continue. Unless you want to
Yeah.
retire, then you only hit A once and then retire. But like there is always that 30 to 40 second load time after. Sometimes it's only like a 2-minute level, and it's just savage. Like I feel like I can't just sit down and play Gauntlet mode. Like I need to have my phone on my side, screw around on Twitter or go on Discord or something, or like be playing next to my computer and I can do some stuff in the side. Like I feel like it's really hard with the load times to just sit down and play it. And that's a big problem.
For the porn star Geek vs. Poll,
Boom. That's what I'm doing. I feel like that's like the idea of that mode is that it's for like good end game content. You can get your streaks up. You can try to get like a nice high score in the rankings because you can compare against other players, which is fun. Shows to Travis for getting that number 1 slot. You probably don't have it anymore.
No, but I'm never gonna check again because until you update the rank, it stays at that.
Does
so
it?
it's just always gonna show me at number 1 until I'm sure when there's updated game I'll lose it. But at one moment in whatever the third Gauntlet was, I was number 1 in the world. I was like, yes.
Moon Knight unlock.
But then later on when I did another trial just for one Gauntlet for like in the Avengers, it was like, you're ranked 193. I'm like, oh man, I don't even want to check that number 1. But at one point I was first in the world.
Yeah.
So.
Did you take a picture of it?
Oh, of course I did. I sent in the group chat. They don't even fucking look.
You gotta print it out and frame it.
The thing with those, you really should. The thing with those is that the idea of Gauntlet mode after you beat it once is that it turns into endless mode. And you can keep doing it, but some of these, like, even just to get the challenge, like Travis was saying, like, to kill those 30 cursed, like, sometimes that takes, like, 40 minutes to an hour for one.
Yeah.
Just doing one trial, which I'm fine with. I like it. But when you factor in that probably, like, maybe that's, like, 5 or 6 minutes of, like, load times or something. I don't know what it is. But the idea of this endless mode is that sometimes it might take like 2 or 3 hours. If you want to get a world record, if you want to get that number 1 slot, then you got to be playing that thing for hours, and so much of that is going to be load times that you can't skip in any way.
But that's the thing, even if you don't want the record, even if you just want those shield points to go buy the Thor costume, you got to beat these things. And the problem is if you die, which I haven't because I've been playing the easier ones, but it's still time consuming, and I'm worried about when I get to the higher ones. If I die, you lose all that. I
have died a couple times after a 20-minute run or something, and it's not really that frustrating, but it sucks that it's like I don't want to do this again right away because I know I have to sit through those load times again.
Oh, I know.
So
that's a big problem.
That's kind of my biggest complaint with the DLC. As for the gauntlets themselves, like there's kind of 3 phases of them, and some of them are like required level 120. So I'm not even like Blade is my highest at 100. So I still need to do some grinding to do them all, which is cool. I like that there's more endgame content on top of that. Obviously, I just kind of mentioned that, but they increased the level cap to 150 from 100, so that's...
Just when you get to 100.
Yeah, I know.
I've made it to the mountaintop. No.
Yeah, I mean, I never really made it my goal to get all the level 100s. That didn't really interest me. Just the
Shout out to
grinding
Clay, who has 5 level 100s.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's impressive.
Good job, Clay.
Well done.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? There's 4 new costumes, like full-on costumes, like re-textures and everything. And then there's, I think, I want to say around 10 like recolors. So some of them are for the costumes. Some of them are for the August costumes. Particularly the Red Hulk one with like the Planet Hulk looks really sick.
Very cool.
Even they did really good job with the recolors here. And they have the kind of an Iron Spider one for the Symbiote Spider.
Yeah.
And then they have recolors for the Marvel Knights as well. So a good amount of costumes. And the Shield Depot, as Travis mentioned, just like a new shop in game, which I really like. It's just you can buy voice lines, you can buy costumes, you can buy like some Cube Rider XP cubes. You can buy all sorts of stuff.
Unlike the ISOs, good menu. You know, it's just sync 2 tabs. Here's your money. Here's this. Go. You know, and I think things are priced reasonably. Where shield points are, you get a lot of them in the gauntlet mode. So it's not like when a suit is 400 shield points, but at one point I had like 1,200. I was like, okay, I can buy this, and not
I
feel
like
like
it too
I've
because there's a couple things like the DLC that came out in August, like to get. The Captain Marvel costume, like to beat that level, or I guess to get the Spidey costume, you have to get all the stars. And that's pretty hard to do. Like you need to have high level characters, probably around like level 90 to beat some of that stuff. So not everyone can do that, and not everyone wants to because they haven't grinded or played the game. They just want to get the costumes. And I think this is a good way where you can get whatever costume you want just by playing some lower level stuff, and you can pick what order you want to get the costume in. So I think it is a good way to do it.
You can just buy the Symbiote Spider costume there.
Well, of the new costumes I'm talking about.
Costume.
Like,
okay, yeah.
For all the costumes that are in the base game, you still got to get to high enough level.
No, I thought I missed that. Okay.
But I think you can... I'm not going to confirm, but I think you can... Or have you checked? Can you buy the Spider-Man costume?
No. The recolor of the symbiote? No, because I haven't unlocked it yet.
Okay,
no,
so you need... Yeah. Okay, so that does change things a little bit, but at least you can pick between like the new costumes if you want to order them. And I think they did a good job. Like the Cap one... At first I thought it was a little lame, but in-game it's really cool because he has like a holographic shield. What's that costume called?
What is it? It's something Agent. I'll look it up. But did you do the recolor of it?
It's like a red variant.
I love the recolor.
Cool
yeah.
I haven't bought it yet, but it looks really nice.
It's almost my go-to now because I like the the classic one is just like the movies, but that recolor one is something spicy.
It
But
is
yeah, I'll
pretty
get the
good.
name of it.
And then they added Ultimate Thor, which is traditionally not my favorite look for him,
Yeah.
but at least it comes to Stormbreaker. So
Stormbreaker.
that's pretty cool that they gave him a different weapon for that.
Who was swinging Stormbreaker?
I thought someone said something there.
I did.
You're whispering.
No.
That went to my left ear, so I thought Briggs said something.
I
which is
said
why I got
perhaps my
confused.
favorite line in Endgame from Thor when
Yeah.
someone says who killed Thanos, and Rocket's like Stormbreaker, or what's his name? Who's the Rock
You're
guy?
butchering
Korg.
this.
He said who killed Thanos, and Korg goes Stormbreaker, and Thor just goes who was swinging Stormbreaker. I
Yes.
love it.
Good
Yeah.
job.
a
What
good
else
one.
you got? You get the Black Panther costume, the chunky one, the
Ugly.
thrice blessed. You know what, I don't
Ugly.
I don't love it,
Don't defend
but
it.
I like it. I
It's
like
kind
now.
of cool. It's like a medieval It's like
Yeah.
medieval armor.
I think for the
Black
right
Panther.
team, like if you're using a very nimble team, it might be good. You get a little kind of beefier looking guy on there.
He'd lose so much speed.
He would, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not that
But
fast
I mean,
to begin
it's-
with.
it's about you want to make a nice, good-looking team. If you make you
It's
can make
true.
like a team that's like all like people wearing like medieval-looking
And
armor.
that-
That's pretty cool.
And that's something I will say as well. The
the aesthetic,
the profile icon, like what you see in the bottom left of the screen for that costume, is really cool. I like the look of that.
Captain America's is the super soldier. Black
Okay.
Panther's the thrice blessed armor.
Right.
Iron Man's the extremis armor from Iron Man 3 in the classic comic book. And then, Ultimate Thor.
Uh-huh.
It just says Ultimate, but
Okay.
with
it's literally called
Stormbreaker.
Thrice Blessed.
Thrice blessed.
Yeah, that's the name.
That's
And that one has a purple variant as well as like a kind of turquoise one. So I mean, Black Panther, he got bumped by Blade, but he's still my number 2 character.
Wow.
And I like that I have a few costumes that I can use for him now.
Yeah.
And then the Iron Man one, like honestly, it looks cool, but from afar, like when you're playing the game with the camera,
Nothing's
you
different.
can't really tell.
I-
I will say the recolor is pretty nice for it.
I'm just so disappointed in that one because even the Black Panther one I don't like, but it's something different and they just spent the time of
Right.
it. Iron Man has so many fucking suits in comics, video games, animation, and they just went with, I get it, Extremis is a very popular comic book, but like Dylan said, from afar, there's not much different other than, okay, it's a fucking triangle arc
His
reactor.
like face is
They
different, but you
should
can't tell.
Yeah.
give him the rescue skin.
They rescued. They should have gave him. I'm surprised it wasn't War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine
the
would've been
obvious one. Like there's just so many.
Confirmed
You could
War Machine new character.
even say whatever you want about the Marvel Avengers game, but they have the black and yellow one. That one's so sick. Like just something different. So that I was
Yeah.
really disappointed in the Iron Man.
I
one
do.
the
I will
most.
say the recolor is pretty nice at least.
Yeah.
So.
And then what was the fourth one? Oh, Ultimate Thor. The only reason I like that is because I don't love.
Have you got the recolor for that one? I think it's like reddish or something.
I don't think I bought
I got to
it.
take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll look at it and see. But yeah, I just wanted Stormbreaker. The second I heard them, like,
Yeah.
oh, I get that. I love that. I like it just because I just think he's a bit too bulky in the game, and the game is cartoony. But I just feel like
He looks even bulkier with this skin.
See, I disagree because it's the cape and the shoulder
Okay,
pad.
yeah,
That's
I'll
what
give you
and
But I
his
feel like they
hair.
replaced the cape with just even more muscle.
But it's his
mass.
muscle at least,
He's
you know.
looking
Like
Kingpin.
I guess I like that Thor look, but that's still so old Thor. It's even just updated a little bit, but they didn't. They just went with almost like what he looks like in other Ultimate Alliance games. So I like this look.
Updated him too much, and then
For what, Ultimate?
Endgame Thor.
Well, that's what I wanted, honestly. I don't think they're gonna do movie costumes, or even Ragnarok
I could
Thor,
see
the
them
short
doing
hair.
that for Gamora,
Mhm.
and I don't know who else, but at least Gamora, I could see them doing the MCU costume.
Yeah, I just don't know if it costs more licensing for them or something to use
Oh,
that
yeah.
exact costume.
Sure.
But yeah, I just like it because it's a bit more sleeker. I just think he's a little still too cartoony for me in the original game. So I'm going to be using the Ultimate Thor quite a bit, and also just Stormbreaker.
I do
that.
like this one a lot more than the Ultimate Alliance one, where he looks like some fucking 80s wrestler. One.
Nothing wrong with being an 80s,
80s
wrestler.
wrestlers. Pretty cool.
And funny enough, Chris Hemsworth's going to be playing Hulk Hogan in a biopic. So
That's cool.
speaking about 80s wrestlers,
Biopic is how it's
directed by the Todd Phillips, the Joker director, coming to
That's
Netflix.
so
Todd
cool.
Phillips.
Coming to Netflix.
Wow,
That is
right
sweet.
on.
Taylor,
That was really well
I was just gonna say,
Brilliant.
even the little stuff I dislike, I just love this game, and I'm so excited for X-Men and Fantastic Four, and that was the other thing in the character select screen.
Right.
9 slots, so either we got 4 or 5, and they could add more because we didn't have this slot previously, right? So I really hope people are buying this DLC in this game because I want this to keep just chugging along until they say we're making a 4th game. Just keep going. Just keep Smash Ultimate. Just keep doing it. I will purchase all the stuff.
It.
Even if it is just more Gauntlet levels, I don't love them, but I'll fucking buy them and I'll play them. We've talked about this on the cast many times, but I think the route you got to go is 4 X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Doctor Doom. I think it will be fun to get if you get 5 X-Men, but I just think there's people out there like myself that like Fantastic Four but love Doctor Doom. I think Fantastic Four, especially lately, are a bit lower in popularity, so that alone goes, okay, they're the Marvel classics. You throw Doom in there, that's a must-have DLC. And I think you look at Morbius, who knows with X-Men, they like doing villains, Loki, Thanos. So I think Doom it has to be. I'm not gonna say has to be, but I'm like 75% sure he's in there. So I can't wait for all DLC. I was very happy with the DLC.
Yeah, I'm still happy with it overall. Like the fact that the DLC is like $20-$25 or something. The fact that this is like a third of that, I think, is amazing. I mean, I might even pay that much just for Blade alone. I fucking love that character so much. And then I think the only thing I haven't mentioned is they expand even just like the menu music. They gave new menu music for this DLC, and I really like it. And then they also the Alliance Enhancement Grid. They added small little grids on the outside of all of them, so there's even more to upgrade now. Which is, makes sense. So when you increase the level cap, you got to give some incentive for people to level those characters up. So I think it's a good way to do it. And they have a couple in there that I really like. One is you can decrease the energy used for people flying around. So I really like that, because I think that's the first thing in the game that I've seen that actually decreases that amount. So
that's good.
That was the first thing I went for, just so I can fly around for even longer. So.
That's going to be achievement in life one day when I have every single one of those hexagons bought and it's all full and colorful. I can't wait for that day.
Then they add more.
Yeah. They had a whole 8 of them, but
yeah, overall it's just I like how gated this content is for. There is some stuff there for people who are lower level, like with lower level gauntlets to get the new characters, but then there is a ton of content in there for later game stuff. And now I'm not caught up anymore. Like with the August update, it was good late game content, but I was able after a couple weeks of grinding to catch up. I don't know if I'll be able to catch up now at this point. Like this is like a lot of stuff.
If we didn't have the fall coming out, I could, but that's the problem.
If it wasn't October, the month of Outer Worlds, I might be able to do it. But yeah, and that's a good thing. It's good to have like those goals to work towards again, because I've mentioned before, this is a very goal driven game, and I love that they just added so much more to it. So, and
it's always fun to plug back in. You got something to do, So.
Yeah, and a good co-op game and a good 24-hour stream game. So
yeah, we'll definitely be busting. It came out every other stream, so it'll definitely be busting out this time. I'll probably bring bring my own Switch though, so I can jump online and level up my Blade as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't blame you for that.
Anything else on Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
I will say I like the Iron Man skin. It reminds me of Iron Man 2.
Well,
I
that's
like
weird because it's a skin from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
The triangle.
Yeah, I guess they did.
When he creates the new element at the end, he gets that triangle.
You can't
Stupid
see it
scene.
in the game, though, really.
In the game, you can't see it?
Yeah, really.
That's a shame.
It's kind of hard to tell.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Taylor can see it.
It's my heart.
That's all that matters. And at least you can see in the profile icon, you can see that beautiful face, that shiny face.
Very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I wanted to talk a little bit about Game Pass, because I was gone in September, so want to shout to the boys and Kirkland as well for holding down the fort. I tried to call in last week and join that cast. Didn't work out, but
big power outage. Don't know what happened.
Big power outage. Yeah, not like
there's
issues or anything.
I assume we're talking about the power outage.
We're not.
He's naming
different power outage. There was a power outage.
We're talking about Spider-Man 3.
I had a power outage in Chilliwack as well. It's just all over BC. Apparently, powers out. Anyway,
incels. They just saw Joker on their.
Chilliwack's not an amazing place to hang out. I guess it's a pretty simple place.
Fuck you,
chilling in our whole Chilliwack.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fuck you, Chilliwackians.
Hey, I like it there, but sometimes it's pretty stanky, and you know what? I don't know many people there, so I spent a lot of time when I was there playing video games, and that's great for me. But I ended up hopping on the Game Pass hype train, which is honestly, it's actually quite nostalgic to be back on my Xbox Live account, seeing that gamer tag, seeing that icon, seeing my friends who haven't logged on in over 365 days or whatever specific thing it says. But it's just, I don't know, it's bringing me back, because the Xbox 360 is probably, I want to do this cast sometime, rate the consoles, but I think that is my favorite console of all time. I have so many great memories and an everlasting library.
I think as long as we're all alive and podcasting, we should do that before the launches of the new consoles.
Yeah,
that's a smart
idea.
Do it.
After 9, we'll do it.
Boom.
But yeah, it's fun, and I think the Xbox, it's technically called the beta, because it's still, I guess, new to PC somewhat. But I think the interface is really good. actually. Like, it has all your games that you have downloaded easily right on the bar on the left, so you can just quickly download or even hit play right from there. You don't have to click through anything. And then even like finding new games and downloading them is really clean and easy, and it's like a nice crisp overlay, which I think is nice because like when it comes down to Xbox, like obviously there wasn't really the games to bring me to the Xbox One, but I still like the Xbox controllers more, and I've always liked their interfaces more, their UIs for their consoles and stuff. Like I still hate the PS4 UI. I just feel like it's really clunky and doesn't give you that much information, whereas Xbox has always been good at that. So I'm glad that the Game Pass like PC app is really nice and crisp. And I'm playing some fun games. You mentioned this a couple weeks ago on the cast with Blair Witch. Have you played that anymore since then?
No, I don't want to say where I am because I'm still on like chapter like 11, I think. Okay. But I don't want to say what's going on because I don't want to spoil it for you.
I haven't played it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in a couple weeks, but I think now's the month, so I'll definitely try and finish the rest of it. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting more of like an experiential game, like something like a Firewatch or Edith Finch sort of thing, but it's a lot more like video gamey than I was expecting, with just like mechanics with like the camcorder and stuff. But it is a really cool game. It is fun. It's got that classic horror game aesthetic to it. One thing I really like about it is there's like, I don't know how they did it exactly, but essentially you'll be going one direction. You'll kind of get like messed up in some bushes or something, and you'll kind of lose your way. And then it seamlessly, I think, teleports you to another area so that you show up where you were before.
I don't know how
and you feel like you like went in a circle or something. And it's like, it's really, really, I don't know what technology they use there for like this seamless fast travel. I mean, you're not going that far, I guess, but it's still like really, really effective. I mean, I kind of caught on to it, but it still feels like, wow, whatever technology they're doing there is really, really effective, because that's like the essence of Blair Witch, the movie, is that they're like, oh, we're back here again. Let's fucking cry for 10 minutes. Then we'll walk forward and get back here and cry some more. But it's all about getting lost and going in circles. So it
really is. Like when I think I figured it out and I'm going like a different way, it takes me right back to the fucking 10. And I swear, like I don't think the game is overall very long game. I think it's relatively short, but
probably 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, but you're gonna spend hours just going in circles with this fucking 10. Like,
you get lost, and there's a couple of times where
Is that the 10 you see fairly early on?
Yeah, it makes several appearances. Well,
interesting.
You kind of keep teleporting back to me.
I haven't got that far. I played a little bit.
You played
and
a little
I was
bit
like, I don't need to put myself through the stress, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I
definitely
when I play horror games, like I only play it at night. I put on these very same headphones. I blast it, and I fucking I try to scare myself or else what's the point?
Try to scare.
But I think I was expecting it to just be more of like a seamless experience. I didn't think I would have to do a whole lot of thinking, which I don't know how I feel about it. I think I wanted a more mindless game where I could just go through and just kind of get scared. But when I'm having to like figure out puzzles, I'm like not really scared anymore, I guess. So.
It feels like a game, and you're just trying to complete the objective, and you stop viewing the monster as a monster, but more so just as like a video game bad guy that you need to defeat. It doesn't feel like this, like, I don't know, something like an actual threat, really.
I like the narrative of it, at least. So far it's going well. And I like that you have the dog companion. That's a fun thing. There's a lot of ways you can interact by sending him out, getting him to wait, or petting the dog and stuff like that. Little things I like. So it is a fun game, and I plan to play through the rest of it this month. So now's the time. But yeah.
Have you pissed off the pizza guy?
I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna say no.
On your phone, you can keep dialing the pizza guy.
You? Yeah, I noticed that there's like a few different numbers.
At the very start of the game, before I even went in the woods, I noticed there's some things on the phone. I went and did everything
too, right?
Oh yeah, you can play Snake on it. I got pretty high score on Snake before I went into the woods. It's like
that's why we play.
I was just man. Good times.
That's good times. What else have I been playing? Me and Briggs were playing some Halo Wars 2, which is, I mean, I think when did that game come out? 2017?
That was a long.
It came out a long time ago. I did a review for
earlier
DLC,
than 2017.
I want to say it was 2017 game.
I did a few reviews for that. That makes me happy.
It's been fun to play that because I liked the original, and I think it was only on console, right? So I only played it with a controller. And it's much better to play these games with a mouse and keyboard. But it was fun playing through the campaign. I feel like the campaign isn't really made for co-op. It's more just like let's just kind of ham-fist it to make it co-op, which
that's what Halo Wars 1 was like too, right? I think you share a base and troops and stuff.
I can't remember. I don't know if I ever played that game multiplayer. I think I just kind of played through the campaign, the first one. But that's been fun. And then Moonlighter as well as a indie game that came out sometime this year, but I highly recommend that. It's it's like 50-50 between like a kind of roguelike dungeon crawler and then 50% like town builder, and it's just a really, really unique, clever game. So that one's pretty sweet. And then I just downloaded Crackdown 3 last night, and I played that for like about an hour today, and I'm loving it so far. It's great.
Right on.
Crackdown 1 is one of my favorite games. So this feels like a callback to that, except looks prettier. There's more weapons, more cars. The game feels a little better in terms of just like moving around and stuff, and then you get to fucking play as Terry Crews and pop off on some nerds. So overall, it's it's a fun game, and I'm excited to play more of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall Game Pass, big thumbs up for me. And between Xbox, what do they call it? Called Inside Xbox. Yeah, they had that last week, and I thought they did a really good presentation there. I like that they show like the order of what they're gonna do in the conference. So if there's like a couple games that you don't care about, you can kind of tune out for a bit and just come back. But they kept it quick. They showed a lot of games. They did like interviews, but overall I thought it was like much better than the State of Play, which was the same day. The only thing I thought was weird is the hosts, there's like 4 or 5 different hosts for like different sequences, and they're all just like frequently trash talking each other like in subtle ways, but it felt like it was a really weird vibe.
They're taking our gimmick. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah, it was a really odd thing to see. I don't know. Like, it wasn't Phil Spencer there just shit talking his employees or anything, but it was just giving me some weird vibes.
I like to see that.
But at least the games they showed were great. They showed an Outer Worlds trailer that I thought was excellent. But I think the moral of the story is I'm really hyped on Xbox and Microsoft right now.
That makes me very happy to hear.
It'd be great if we could play something 24-hour stream.
Don't expect me to go buy the new Xbox because you need exclusives to justify me to spend $100 on that. But overall, I'm happy to be back in that sphere.
Yeah.
Why are you shaking your head?
Microsoft granted in the PC market.
You're like Games Pass, but the PC has to stream the 24-hour stream, so we can't use the PC. So we need your Xbox. That Taylor's afraid is gonna get.
I'd rather not.
Afraid we're gonna like see his Xbox just start beating the shit out of it and like
Considering my
after the serious HDMI problems that fucking
well, that was Ruben. Fuck Ruben. He left. We had plans
Ruben.
and he fucked Ruben. But
I don't want to run games on the PC for the 24 hours.
No,
considering that
we
my
even
stream,
offered
my computer shit the bed hard last year for no reason as far as I'm concerned. So I don't want to risk it by putting any extra stress on the system.
We even offered, 1, the next console is just right around the corner, so you should be fine. But 2, we even offered there's any damages, we would take care of them.
Yeah, but I'm
Some
not gonna
variety
make it
as
do
chunky
that.
as
we're not
Xbox
making
systems are, they are flimsy as fuck. So I don't.
You're not
totally
making
blame
me
you.
do that. If it would enhance the 24-hour stream and open up the world to more games, that'd be great. But at least we're gonna use Dylan's PS Now subscription that he's never used. So
I've never used it once.
Never used it.
yeah.
Well, I don't have it, so no.
Okay.
I don't actually know what you're referencing exactly.
I talked to Dylan about a lot of things, and he kind of forgets them. It's okay.
Well, PS Now is a PS3 thing.
Nope.
Isn't it?
Nope. Remember when I sent you all those pictures of like, look at these games we could be playing?
But those are older games, right?
Yeah, but it's on PS4.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that actually. And they actually just announced last week that it's like they cut the price in half.
I know. I'm thinking about getting it. I think. Well, I don't know what it translates for us, but I think for a year subscription,
going on there.
I think so. I heard for a year subscription like $50, and there's tons of games on there.
I mean,
tons of PS3
they kind of
games.
have to be competitive, but like,
yeah,
it seems like they're beefing it up because before it was like all PS3 games, which is why I guess it makes sense it's on PS4, but it was pretty much only PS3 library.
A few PS2 games like Bounty Hunter and Star Wars on there.
Right.
Star Wars Revenge Racer.
Wait, Star Wars Bounty Hunter?
Yeah.
The Boba Fett one?
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is there wasn't really
Or
PS4
Jango
games,
Fett.
so
Jango
that's
Fett.
like that they're kind of rushing out more of those and then reducing the price. So
yeah.
I'll see. Maybe I'll be jumping into that streaming service.
I
as
think
well.
they're gonna really repackage that come the next console. I think they're not worried about right now because they're
that's like
in the lead.
That'll be like the defining quality of the next consoles,
Yeah.
right? I mean, even look at like Apple Arcade launch. That's like a huge success, and Google Play has like their little pass coming out as well.
They're gonna do it. I just think right now they feel like they don't need to because
Yeah.
they're fine. They got Last of Us. They got Death Stranding. Wait until PS5 and they're like, oh, what can PlayStation do? And they just go, boom, here's our.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, well, I think they'll do this.
Yeah, that
I think
seems
they'll.
like a cool-
I think there's even a chance they rename PS Now and use something a little bit different because it started off a little rocky. I used it when it wasn't as great. It's gotten a lot better over time.
Do you think they'll do something to just bundle it with PS Plus and just have it as one service?
I could see something like that.
PS
multiple
Plus,
tiers.
honestly, isn't really great if you look at the landscape of other streaming services right now because you do get some decent games, and this
Last of Us as well.
Last of Us is a great addition. But like, why couldn't that just be on a streaming service for the same price?
I think it is. or I think it was at least Last
Right.
of Us for a while.
That's
so.
where I feel like PS Plus, like you get some discounts on DLC, but it's only like 10-15% off usually. So
Yeah.
and sometimes you do get discounts on games otherwise, but I feel like they could really just bundle that and consolidate it, and then people would actually know what PS Now is.
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm a PS4 owner, I didn't realize how it even fucking works.
I agree. Yeah, we're gonna play some. There's a couple games we saw. I don't know if they'll be in Gauntlet, but there's like a surgeon game, and then
Yeah,
there's that. Remember
Surgeon
that like
Simulator.
kitchen golf or whatever when you got a kid.
Dude,
like
there's fucking wild
Yeah,
games that
yeah,
exist
yeah.
in this world. Like Untitled Goose Game. You guys hear about that one?
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
The what one?
I actually want to get that.
Have you heard of it? Untitled Goose Game is what it's called.
It's literally called Untitled
It
Goose
came out
Game.
last week. It's a game where you play as a goose and you just
This is where
annoy
you
people.
fuck shit up, right? I
Yeah.
saw that. It looked
This game
sick
is
as hell.
it's like all the fucking rage. Like everyone's talking about it. It's a massive
I
game.
want to try
somehow.
that game.
It's like the number one store on the Switch, Nintendo Switch right now. Taking out Link's Awakening. Show it's Link's Awakening. Go check out my review for that.
Yep.
Yeah, Game Pass is hype. I don't know. That's the rest of my gaming news, I guess. Yeah. Should we get into the steel cases?
Let's get into the steel
Ooh,
cases.
this is gonna be juicy.
So yeah, start revealing them.
Okay.
You're going so slow. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
You weren't ready for this. So Taylor's
ready.
right now getting the steel cases. So I guess quickly, like, I didn't really expect that we're gonna rank all these, and I feel like that is quite a lengthy process.
Not for
Are
me.
we? I think we're gonna rank them all together. I think we should do that. I think
Are we
should,
ranking them right now?
I think we
Yeah.
should rank it as a stack. Like we should stack them all as
Oh,
our ranking.
No. You're
No.
getting the reveal here. I can't stack. I can't just pop them all out for
You-
you.
No, but I
It'll
mean,
take away the
like you put
suspense.
one. Okay, it goes on the bottom.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the next
yeah.
one comes out. Is it better or worse than that one? It goes underneath. If it's worse, if it's better, it goes on top.
For the listeners, please
Rank it.
describe.
Because how many you got in here?
I think I brought about like 40 steel.
So you want us
cases,
all
or-
to rank 40 things each? That's going to take 4 hours.
No, I could do it very quickly.
I might not have 40.
You,
that might be
you
an
guys can do a
exaggeration.
combined list. I'm writing it down. I'm ready to go.
All right, so I'm going to bring on my first steel case here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a true prize. X-Men Days of Future Past.
I have that one. That's high because tell
Can I
them
see
what's
it?
on the front and back.
So on the front is Logan. Holy shit, this is cold. Mystique is on the front looking all
Trademark of steel.
Mystique-like.
But then the back,
There's a little bit of holographic, and then there's a what are these guys called again?
Sentinels.
Sentinels,
we literally
yeah.
just fought the Sentinels yesterday.
Yeah, but they look a lot different. In
They do.
Ultimate Alliance.
I'm pretty sure
You're gonna
Travis
want to turn to
turned
the
me,
YouTube section for this, probably.
You got make sure you're on the YouTube for all this. I think
The lighting
Travis
is
turned me
horrible
onto
in
the
this
steel
corner.
case because I got
It
this
is
from
away
Target.
the light.
Yeah, it's a good one. I have that one as well. So anyone that I have too,
How's
it's
the
gonna go
Marvel
up, and
symbol?
I have to show you one. I'll have to show you one of my. I have a really cool Scarface still case.
I'd like to see
I was
that.
big I was like Taylor. I was a big still case junkie until I jumped away from physical media. But it's really good. Let's continue. So Days of Future Past. That's number one right now for me.
Well,
Look at the interior.
it's my number one as well.
My steel
Interior
cases
is
are like
not bad.
mint.
Oh,
I got 300. Rise of an Empire.
Are these all going to be cold?
All right, Travis,
Probably.
you can
The
do your own
floor's
thing.
cold.
Dylan, do you want to do the stacking thing?
If
Are
we
you still on
stack
board
it,
with
it's
that?
going to be hard to like lift like
Taylor's
20
scared
steel
that they're gonna
cases and
fall.
put them underneath. No, I just think
Yeah,
it'd
he
be a
is.
pain in the ass.
They're gonna
Alright.
fall onto his Xbox.
This
Holy
is 300
scared.
Rise of an Empire. I've never heard of this movie, actually.
that's,
I didn't know there was a sequel
It's
to
a
this.
prequel that
It's a
ends as a
prequel.
sequel to 300.
How-
I'll be honest.
How does that work?
I've only watched the
It doesn't, Dylan.
I've only watched this movie. I'm a fan of 300. I've only watched the Ava Green sex scene from this movie because Ava Green
It's pretty good.
is probably one of my biggest woman crushes currently. She should have been Catwoman. It's not gonna happen, but she is.
Spicy? Would you say?
Yeah. That's definitely a Travis type right there. So that's definitely
that
going.
her?
Yeah, Ava. She's plays Vespa in Casino Royale.
Vespa.
That's definitely gonna be pretty low though. I'm not digging that case. It's pretty basic.
It is
not
very
great.
basic. It's not super
And
fancy.
It's not great.
No.
You
Like Days of
also-
Future Past can be basic, but the Sentinel's cool on the back.
Steel cases, I will say, lose points when you see this setup here. It's very
100%.
inconvenient. It's
Anytime you
fucking
Yeah,
open
I was
it-
gonna say
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to see like what is the how is the access to the discs?
It's like when you're.
sucks.
It's like when you
Not
go to
great.
school and your dad packed your lunch and say your mom, you're like, oh, I can tell my dad did this.
Hey,
so.
dads can pack good lunches.
My dad could not.
Okay, that's
So next up
That
for
one's
steel
definitely
case,
below
Oh,
Days
yeah.
of Future Past.
we got Star Wars Force Awakens. This
Ooh.
one
Okay.
is
Ooh.
Let me see the
fucking
back before you
hype.
hand it over, because I no turn around and then show. Okay, I'm liking that one. I'm liking that one.
Okay.
I'm thinking so. The front has Kylo Ren, the greatest Star Wars character of all time. Where it might lose points is she's cool, but it has Phasma on the back.
So I like the
yeah, but
beam-
we're not rating it.
I like
based
how much.
on
I like how highlighted
how
the
cool
lightsaber
Phasma
is. Like it really
is
feels like
on-
it's.
I mean, I guess you
it
can.
feels
rate
like it's
Oh.
glowing. It feels like there's an LED in there
Oh,
that
yeah.
has the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually like this. This is I can't really tell this is Phasma. Honestly, it looks more white than chrome swag. But I think this is decent. I would put this in the middle right now.
It's top for me.
I've
I like that.
tried.
Okay, so you can't tell this on the video, but there is a little bit of grip to the Star Wars Force
Nice.
Awakens
Little
title.
That's
embossing
good,
going
that's
on.
good.
It pops out a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I have tried to get steel cases
And
for
that's
other
a nice
Star Wars
side
titles, but
title.
this is the only one of Disney Star Wars movies that I have a steel case for.
Clay,
Really?
Clay, I hope
Yeah.
you're enjoying this. This is all the benefits of being
this
a
is
patron.
for Clay.
Yeah,
Clay, we love you.
And
For you,
everybody,
Clay.
I messaged everybody, Steve, which I forgot to mention the thing. I loved AEW. I'm going to talk about in the future, but really, really good show. I'm talking about times by AEW. Let
Ooh,
me
but
know.
look
Message
on
me
the
because
inside.
AEW was fire tonight. What would be my fair match? I'm glad Nyla Rose didn't win the title.
That takes it down a notch for me.
It does.
Um,
It does.
Probably Hangman and Pac. They're pushing Pac like no.
Travis, no one
end.
knows what you're talking about.
One of our patrons does. He wants me and Kirkland to start a wrestling show.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Chill.
go to Patreon so I can have a wrestling show. Again.
What's next?
So I got a juicy steel case
Oh,
coming up
no.
here. This is a good one.
Michael
This is
Fassbender,
Big
Shane.
Lebowski?
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh no! Who's in his eye?
Oh, you guys gotta find
Is it
out.
Electro? Oh no!
It is Electro.
A whole lot
yeah.
of goodness going on.
Not
in that
only is it
one.
Electro, but then there's also like a flag that has Electro's face in the background. And then
It
he's
gets better
also on the back.
He's
Okay.
on the back.
On the back,
Oh
that's
my
pretty spicy.
goodness.
Okay, so one thing, is this supposed to be like a picture frame? Because it's got like a...
I don't know what they were
like
doing.
even
I don't
it's
like that.
textured. It feels like... I like it statistically. Stylistically. I like that it's kind of... I like the picture frame.
So the front, if we weren't clear enough, it's Spider-Man, and then in his eye, like goggle
Yeah.
glass thing, it's Electro. But then in the back, it's also Electro
Can you
again.
pull the camera in? Like,
But
should you
no,
do
I
it?
can't. But you could walk to it.
That's not going to...
That's
It's okay.
Sorry.
I'm sure they can Google it. They can
I
find it.
like
Exactly,
I like
yeah.
the tones of blue on the background.
The
Maybe
back is
before you
gorgeous.
hand it over us, just show to the camera first, and then.
Okay, I'll do
So
yeah,
that.
you're a
Dylan-
little close
yeah.
to the camera.
I'll do it for the fans. Do
So
it for you,
Dylan's not
Clay.
gonna have a BF.
I don't know what BF means.
You'll never know.
But yeah, so there is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I'd
That
put
was
that
a
one
panic
second.
buy. I was actually
I
at
like
Future
it
Shop when I saw
stylistically.
that,
Actually, I'd put it
and it was
first.
for a cheap price.
What define a panic buy?
Panic buy is where I see a steel case and it's at a reasonable price, and I think I need to get this.
You may
just
never see it
because.
again.
I may never
Okay.
see it again, and I guarantee you won't go into a Best Buy and see that on the shelf anytime soon.
No, I
No.
can guarantee you that.
Not soon.
I
In a
think
few years,
really
yes.
big missed opportunity. Use actual like material for Spidey's.
No, that's
Real
expensive.
But
Spider-Man
that's not
expensive.
steel.
costume.
That's not steel anymore. Then that's like
But the rest,
that's cotton case.
This is steel cases.
well, the
breaks.
rest of the case is steel.
For me, that's ranked 1. But you
Mm.
put it where you want.
Oh, one. Wow.
I can't give it the rank 1 for me.
Look at
No.
that back.
It's in the middle.
Yes,
for me.
Electro looks
I mean,
shitty, but that's a beautiful
It's
steel
a
case.
cool back,
The back's cool. The front's the
but
problem.
it's got this setup which takes it down a little
Most
bit.
of them are gonna.
I
A lot of
don't-
them
Most of them are
that.
gonna have
Yeah.
that. It's
Well,
unfortunate.
It's a classic steel
X-Men's
case.
the
thing.
one that doesn't have it.
Fine,
so
then put it
it's-
second. What's next?
They scratch the shit, of my Goodfellas.
Next one we got coming up is a personal low-key favorite, After Earth.
Show them first. Oh, not looking
After
great so
Earth.
far.
So I have not
watched
seen
that.
After Earth, actually.
I watched that movie.
Look at the back. Look how. Show them front and back to the camera. Come on now. There you go. That's.
After Earth. I still have not
that's
seen this
dead
movie.
last.
You know what? One thing I will say, the lighting's in here is not great, so I can't get a full vibe on this.
It might be the shading of
What
the
is
steel
on his
case.
back?
That's just your eyes.
What's on his back?
Can I see it for a sec? It might be
It's a
his,
giant
like, sword.
dildo.
It
Oh,
looks
it's a
kind of like a
sword.
giant dildo,
Yeah.
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 Mm.
That's what his father fight over with these aliens. No,
I feel like this is lacking heart, but I actually think it's well made. I think it is nice.
I never
Yeah.
saw that movie in theaters, so when that came out in Steelcase, I thought I can get 2 birds with 1 stone, see it for the first time, and get Steelcase from Future Shop.
That's a risky buy.
It's got a good weight to it, which I can appreciate. This is the front.
Yeah, actually, yes, I think so. I
That's
don't actually
bold.
remember
There's
which
no
is.
title on
I like
the
that.
case at all. I like that.
To me, that's middle of the pack.
Okay.
That's
Middle,
that-
above Force Awakens.
That's last for me.
Yeah. Force
That's-
Awakens could be better.
Wow.
I don't like this side
That's
of the
last. I don't like the
front
lighting. It's way
isn't
too
bad.
dark.
No, you just don't,
I don't
like
like
After
this
Earth.
one.
That's true, but it's way too dark. I don't like light, and I also think it's lazy to have the same character on the front and the back like that. That's annoying.
Like Electro.
Well, that's yeah, that has a problem. But
Also on the inside here, this is literally just like a scene from the film. It's not like any cool artwork. So
Is that a good or bad thing?
that's a bad thing.
Okay.
You want the
Yeah, I
inside
think
to have
it's-
some like original artwork.
Okay.
for me, it's a lazy
Something
still
that's neat.
case.
I think the only thing going for it is the style of the front, coupled with the fact that there's no title, so it's going for that.
No
extra
title is
artsy.
definitely artistic.
But everything else for me is just a letdown. So
Okay.
I would put it below
Sure, that's
Force
fine.
Awakens.
Yeah,
Honestly,
see, this is why I'm on my own.
I'd put it all the way down here.
This is.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you,
I'm like in
Travis. I
Trump
wouldn't put it
country
that
over
low.
here.
So wait, I feel like your rating should be the most important.
My rating?
You're not really rating these.
At the end, I'll kind of like point out where my favorites are, and there's ones that I won't mention that are just at the bottom.
Okay,
whatever.
that's fair.
That's fine. So this one, it makes me think of you, Dylan. I think you guys have seen this one before.
I'd like to
We
hear
got
that.
Thor: Dark World.
Oh
Yeah.
Steelcase Prime. This is actually a very
I'm excited
sick
to have a look at this one.
Steelcase.
I like
here.
the back of it already.
I don't like that back.
Dang.
You don't like the back?
No, I think just having the square cutout of the characters is very just like, what should we put on here? Baseball cards of the characters. Go.
Okay, so for me, here's the positives right off the bat. I love the once again, this is kind of
Yeah.
etched in, and that looks like textured. I mean, it's not, but
It's nice.
this on it and the little Marvel logo too, like that is expert. However, I really don't like the pose they chose for him here. Actually, I think his arm looks really out of whack. So that's definitely gonna bring it down. However, I do like the back. I like that it's a continuation of his cape, so you can.
Yeah,
kinda,
the cape's nice.
I don't want any discs to fall out here, but you can kind of it's a one connected
Yo,
image.
That's cool.
Not a disc.
No Darkos on there, so that's probably a good
No
point.
Darcy
And then-
either.
I like the back as much as I don't like to see Odin because he's annoying. I like that.
Wow.
I actually like this is honestly probably no his pose really throws it off for me, unfortunately. So it's up there though.
It's up there.
Top
Middle of
3.
the pack for me.
So we got another one here,
Okay.
and I think I know I'm not like super big into this movie, but I think I did it because like I really do like the Steel case. Man of Steel.
I can't believe you have a
Man of Steel case.
Yeah. That one's.
Where are we thinking for this one?
To me, it's above Star Wars there. Yeah. Okay.
The front is beautiful for this, I think.
And is the back like supposed to be like it's literally steel, so it's kind of funny?
Sure, I think so. I don't
think
actually
DC's
know.
that funny though.
No. It's a Steel case. I like. There's nothing on the back. I like that it's just very basic and just.
Yeah.
I hate
It's a
to
blank
color.
slate for the Man
I
of
hate to
Steel.
be like this guy that typically hates on DC stuff,
Oh.
but I really don't like this.
Said that, man.
This is incredibly lazy to me.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't like that there's like all these names at the top. I don't like this one. No.
Yeah, you
I don't
really
wanna look
point
at
the
it.
names.
shouldn't be
Yeah.
there. You're right. Good
Yeah, it
point.
goes
It should be
lower.
more of an artistic edition.
full
right?
on After Earth.
Like
no
if you're
title.
buying a Man of Steel steel case, you know who's in the movie, and you just want some really nice artwork to put on your shelf. So the
I
fact
think-
that they're like hitting you in the face, why Zack Snyder made this movie, fucking hashtag Snyder cut, like. I don't
It's
want
hashtag
that.
release the Snyder cut. I think the front's beautiful, but yeah, Dylan had a good point with those names. And the back is quite boring. I don't mind the back being boring, but then don't have the writing on the back. Then just get rid of it. So yeah.
I almost like it as a joke of like this is literally steel on a
Yeah,
steel
yeah.
case on a movie called Man of Steel, but I don't think they were going for that.
Great movie.
Yeah, not great.
What's next?
Woof.
Low tier.
Bottom.
Fuck that movie.
That this
That's what
one's pretty
started the
bad.
DCU and gave us this
I don't
mess.
Like, we can put it on the
Thank
bottom.
God Joker's
choose, I
out.
don't
Thank
care.
God Birds of Prey's out. Thank God Matt Reeves is doing Batman.
Thank God, Matt Reeves. What's next?
This is a juicy one. This is one of my probably my most favorite ones I have
Yeah.
is
Ooh,
Godzilla.
I'm liking that
Ooh,
back. Oh,
I like that
yeah.
already.
We got a front there,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I like
I just
how
popped
I think
a
that's
boner.
on the bottom here
is
right now.
like
I
This is
definitely popped a boner.
gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Even
I
the
really
Japanese
hope
writing
it's
on it,
got a
too?
good weight to it.
Mhm.
If that's a light one, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
How does it sustain over me breaking my knee or like hitting the knee on
you
it?
know, it may not hold up.
How steel is it?
So the only I've kind of two semi-related cons. One, I
It's
don't
a
like
Warner
that,
Brothers
I don't
movie.
like that pretty much half the back is just names and stuff,
This is bad.
and then this white logo in the bottom
Mm.
left really takes away from that like
Yeah.
crimson aesthetic that the whole case has.
Mhm.
However, of fronts, so we're talking fronts alone, this is to me the best one so
Yeah,
far,
yeah.
without a
Agreed.
doubt. So I'm gonna let Briggs decide, but yeah, this back, unfortunately, if you take this bottom part out, even I like the rest of it. This would be the top one, but this could potentially bring it down.
Mhm. I tried my hardest to get a Godzilla King of the Monsters steel case because it's like this but blue, and I thought the two would contrast each other so fucking well. Fortunately, not in stock in Kelowna, so fuck my life.
But damn it,
You
Kelowna.
gotta
Amazon,
order
my guy.
online.
Gotta,
man.
I know. I'm gonna start ordering these
Hit up
puppies
that
online.
I've
Amazon.
told you this like a year ago, and you don't listen to me.
Sure, he did.
Same
But
thing.
I think there's something special about walking into a store, seeing a steel case, purchasing it, panic buying
There's
it,
nothing.
taking
The
it
nice
home,
thing-
putting it on the shelf, saying, "Hey Madison,
Oh,
check out the steel case I got."
it's so
And she's
good.
like, "What the fuck? You got another one?"
And she's
The
like,
nice
"Oh
thing
man,
though about Future Shop when they were kicking was if you go in there to buy a brand new movie within the first 2 days of it dropping on DVD, they would always sell it to you for like $3-4 cheaper than the actual regular price.
Yeah.
So these steel cases I would get from them would always be a few bucks cheaper than the actual
And
price.
Future Shop
Hell
was
yeah,
the
bro.
best at steel cases. They had a really good selection when they
Oh,
were
yeah.
around. But Best Buy not as good. H&V is all right, but Future Shop up was the man steel cases.
Yeah. So this next one, this is actually a good one. I think I got this from Target. It is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah,
that
This
might
is
be on the
a
top.
very
Oh,
nice
yeah.
looking case.
So on the front, you've got Awesome Mix Volume 1.
that's a oneer right there.
How does it go? It goes this way. And then on the back, you've kind of got, I guess, a sticker from his lunch kit or something like that.
Yeah, that's a fucking good old doozy.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. This one is definitely top tier. Everything
even
about
got
this one.
the tape recorder buttons on the side.
Mhm.
That's nice.
To me, that's true.
That's effort.
That is art right there. And to me, that is the new number one. It's number one or number two. If you try to debate anything else, you're wrong. So just saying. Where's it going, Brogs?
I think it's got the best weight to like cover design ratio.
Okay.
Personally,
It's important.
very important. I like Godzilla. I'm expecting a heavy case to
You want some
represent
Deal breaker.
like Godzilla.
You want
being
something you can use as a
large
weapon.
Yeah.
monster.
so that you use
And
during
yeah.
sex.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of the discs been anything interesting so far?
That's not my criteria.
Man of Steel had some like
No, we
actually
don't talk
designed
about that
discs.
one.
Most of them have just been like blue.
What I look for in steel cases is the digital copy DVD Blu-ray combo. A lot of these now they've gone into a 4K Blu-ray bundle, which sucks. But this one is Blu-ray and Blu-ray 3D. I don't need the 3D, but the Blu-ray is okay. I would have preferred it to be
Blu-ray 3D,
DVD.
holy shit.
Thor: Dark World actually has an empty disc slot in it where they could have put the DVD, but it only is a Blu-ray version and something else, which sucks.
That's kind of
So that's a takeaway. I thought about buying the DVD copy just so I could put the DVD in the steel case.
That's an idea, but then you're spending twice as much on Thor: Dark World, and then you have a big problem.
Yes, this is true.
I really respect how on the inside, instead of doing like a unique design, they just have like the reverse of the front, just kind of like how it's like an empty, it's like an open box
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
It's clever.
it fits thematically.
Yeah, that one's definitely high tier. What's next?
Next, we got a
Oh, it's side
pretty
B.
decent one. Side B.
Side B, whereas this
Cool.
is side A.
Smart.
Which is
Smart.
very smart. You know, like it looks very low effort, but it's actually very high effort
Mm-hmm.
in the lowest effort kind of way.
So next one, we got a Transformers Age of Extinction. Now, I definitely love the front, and I don't mind the back. I feel like they're very different, though.
Front has too much going on.
It's too much
That's
going
what I'm
on for
saying.
This is
too
like the
little in
cover
the
of
back.
Dark Souls 3, actually. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know if this one's really doing anything unique. That's my thing against it.
Yep.
I'm not in love with this one. Not in love with it.
Michael Bay.
Travis, you want to jump in on this one at all?
Lower pack, not the very bottom, but
Definitely not at the very bottom.
Yeah, I don't mind the front a little more than you guys, but I don't love it either. So it's just, I think, kind of a little boring going on. Where at least the thing is like with the Man of Steel one, it's boring, but I like that look of the S. It's very artsy. It's very beautiful. It's a eyeful. So yeah,
Eyeful.
yeah, looking at it's like a bottom 3 right now. So not doing great. Not the bottom, but bottom 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
We take those.
because this one there's a lot of space related stuff, right? In Age of Extinction, or am I crazy?
Space in this one.
Was there there's like a big like moon thing going on, or am I thinking of a different one?
That would be the third one. So this is the sequel to that
Okay.
one.
Well,
Yeah.
anyways, I think like if you look at what we've got at the top, the simplistic designs are kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
And if you exchange like the large flame at the front there for like some cool like just like a very serene kind of background, I guess in a way, it would be much more fitting, and I would probably bump this up a little bit, but
100%.
the weight is pretty. It feels about right for it though.
I don't know if we need to break down the weight on all these, but that's totally
I'll
up to you.
break down the weight.
Okay.
You guys don't have.
Remember,
fine.
folks, when Dylan's like, this is going to take 40 minutes. For me, you see how quick it's a sync time? Boom, boom. That's what I think. On the list, these two over here. Oh, my God. They're making an end game of reviews over here.
I'm gonna take a slight detour here in our steel
no.
cases. Now
Is
this
it
is
TV
shouting
shows?
out. No. This is shouting out to a retro we did. We got Unexpected Journey, The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah. I've seen these ones then.
So we got this puppy right here.
Interesting.
Okay.
I like it. I like the color.
Did I bring all of these for the retro?
I like the tone. I think you probably did, but I blocked those retros out of my mind. Go to Patreon. You can get the Hobbit retro all at the $5 tier. All 3 of them.
If this I love this Gandalf image, but unfortunately, I don't like the text at the bottom, and the front is just okay. I'm surprised. I think I should like that one more than I do.
Much like the entire Hobbit series.
Well said. Truth comes out.
We're gonna go. Sure. That's like a middle pack for me. I like the color. I like the tone of it. I like the bluiness. I think Dylan's right about that text, but I like that image of Gandalf. So
Yeah.
it's an artsy one. So that's why it's a middle pack right now.
Interior has a map of the Middle Earth.
That's fucking cool.
That's pretty cool. That gives it some points for me, but not a lot else gives it points for me. I'm just not a huge fan of this overall.
You specifically what, Taylor?
Went to Future Shop day one when this dropped just to get that.
Get out of
I
here.
also
You're
did
here
it
every day.
To get Desolation of Smaug as well. Steel case day
Ooh,
one.
Big drop for me. That one's very basic, bitch. What is that? Desolation of Smaug?
Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah,
Because the thing
yeah.
is, for me, a steel case shouldn't be what a movie poster is.
Agreed.
It's like distinctly different. I think there's a lot more room for art, whereas this looks like this is an awful image too. Like you can clearly tell that these are copy pasted in there, fucking Photoshop, and they're not standing there. And then this Gandalf one just looks like a poster instead of like something artistic. So I don't really like this one either. I mean, once again, the color scheme's fine, I guess, but
Transformers, you're happy you're not on the bottom 3 anymore. You just got bumped up one. So there you go.
Ooh.
we got
Thanks
two
to
Oh
piles
goodness,
now,
this
too.
is really bad.
Yeah,
I would put this one on the bottom.
that's fine. Actually, I want Man of Steel to stay at the bottom, to be honest. Right now.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, actually, no, put it at the bottom. Put it at the very bottom. That's fine. Man of Steel's getting bumped up. Let's go DC.
Let's go, DC.
Go
next?
bump.
What's next?
Let's go, Taylor. Come on.
So next, and I think this one really bounces back on the whole Hobbit train,
Oh,
is
no.
Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies. This one is very, very cool. I actually love the cover of that with
Right.
Smaug.
No, it's annoying though because it's covers Smaug, who is in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's fucking deceitful.
That's kind of what Smog's about, though. He's a deceiver.
I don't know. I need to actually
mean-
see that before you get into the breaks. I'm very unsure about
The
this
thing about
one.
steel cases,
How heavy is it?
Sort of what you were talking about, like the people who are buying steel cases and who are gonna like the art, they're gonna be looking for like really cool references or like subtle like artistic strokes that you're like you're not trying to sell the movie to them. You're trying to put in something that's really cool, memorable. That like
Fuck.
memorable,
No, I like Memorial. Just fun.
memorable.
I don't like that one very much at all.
No, that's a
Um,
bottom.
That someone's gonna enjoy.
These Hobbit ones lack as much heart as the movies themselves do.
Both of those last 2 hobbits for me are in bottom 5 right now. I like that first one. I like the aesthetic, but those 2 are bottom 5.
We've gone through 12 so far.
Okay.
13? 13. What's up next? What's up next?
Next,
50 more to go.
Yeah, we're jumping up into space with Star Trek Into Darkness.
What the fuck is the back? I can't even see
Ooh.
it. First, also, right back to what Dylan was saying. What the fuck is that?
Travis
shit?
is mortally offended. He is
First of
very
all, like
upset.
what Dylan was saying about movie posters, that is full and just the regular movie poster on the front they use for every
Oh, I
poster of
know.
Star Trek. So that's a big knockoff. The back just looks like Taylor maybe like had a good time and he pulled out and he didn't know where to shoot his load and it
A
ended up on
good
the
fucking movie.
and it ended up on the back of this case. It's just black.
You
and
like
it's-
this because it looks like an Assassin's Creed logo. don't
Yeah,
you?
No,
100%.
I like it because it has the Star Trek logo
But
that they did there, but it's the same
for
the
the viewers and
posters.
listeners, the back looks like it's like a broken ship or like
It's really
like
hard to
stuff,
tell.
and yeah, but it's really dark and it's just
I like
symbol
the
stuff.
idea, but I think the execution's way off. And the front, once again, very movie poster like. Doesn't really.
That's
do
the
it for
exact
me.
same poster.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm not a fan of that one.
Not great. I would put this on the bottom.
After Earth to celebrate because you're not last
Maybe,
anymore.
like
Boom.
third from the bottom.
I think third from the bottom. I don't think it's at the very bottom.
Bottom. For
It's
me.
not Man of
Yuck.
Steel, but it's still like at the
Yeah.
the other bottom.
I got
Next.
4 more movie steel cases, and I'm saving them because I know each one of you guys might get your tickle bone fan or
What?
might
What you
tickle
gonna
your-
do to me?
My
Tickle my funny
fancy.
bone.
I'm gonna get my tickle
So
bone
are
fancy.
these all-
It'll tickle my fancy bone.
Are
like
these
it's
all video
scorched.
games now?
So I'm gonna go right in here and
Answer the question.
we got Lego Batman.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
This one's a very fun one.
Is it rigid though? Oh no, that would have
been perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, build
But
Lego
it
on
looks
it.
like it.
Yeah. Do you have any TV show still cases? Do they make those? I don't think they do, right? I don't think I've ever seen one.
They do for certain things. HBO has a lot of those, I
Makes
think.
sense.
This
I
one
don't
is-
know
I
any.
would like. I can see them doing those for like individual seasons as they're kind of being
You know,
released.
this
but
one
like
is
a box
this
set
one's
isn't
simple
gonna have it.
yet effective. I love that the back is literally just the bat symbol. Like
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of that. And you know what I love about this? Well, you know the thing is, what I was gonna say is this is very movie poster like, but it doesn't bother me. And I think that just goes to show how it's a nice, clean aesthetic. not too much going on. I like this one a lot.
That was the picture of our thumbnail for the review, which for Geekverse history trivia, that was Dylan's last numbering score system he ever gave.
10 out of 10, baby.
10 out of 10. Batman.
I love that movie.
Loves
movie.
Batman.
All right. We got another juicy one here.
So wait, are these the four, or you're saving those four surprise movies till the end? Is what you said?
Yeah.
Right?
These ones happen to be for the end. Yeah, surprise for the end.
Okay, you made it sound like you're transitioning away from movies to
No.
movies,
These
but-
are still movies.
I know, but
That was I agree with Travis.
yeah, you're like, oh, we're at
You
four
led me
movies.
astray.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
You tickle bone to my fancy.
Yeah, fucking Hobbit.
So this one is a good one. This one actually.
Oh, that's going
is,
number 2 on the list.
Oh.
This is a fairly recent steel case that I got. This one is for Avengers: Infinity War.
Ooh, I like. Oh yeah.
This one is
I like that.
very,
Really
very
good.
nice. I tried to
The
get
coloration on that Infinity Gauntlet is godlike.
So it's
So
just
good.
Thanos. He's pretty much. It's very. He's shadowy. It's the gauntlet. There's a
Yeah.
planet in front of him. I love the black and blue aesthetic with the A Avengers logo. That's a high one.
I love that the title doesn't have any words on it whatsoever. That's definitely a big plus for me. I will say Thanos' coloration looks a little strange to me. It kind of throws me off a bit. As for the back, I really like the back. It's simple. It only has a couple little logos. I like this one, but it's not going to break top 3 for me.
The Endgame steel case is actually much lower. Like it's nowhere near this
Yeah, that
kind of
one
style.
sucks, yeah.
You
It
don't have
sucks big time. I tried to get it, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of okay that I didn't. I wanted it to go hand in hand with this steel case, but it's
Yeah.
bad. It's
He
not.
went back to Future Shop and was sadly surprised they're no longer there. I won't reveal the where, but it's top 3 for me. That one.
Yeah.
I like the color. I like Thanos. I like the simplicity of it, but it looks very nice.
I am at this point. I'm willing to bet that you will budget out of your top 3 for what I got coming.
You don't know what if it's number 1 though.
If it's
That's
number
what I mean.
1,
Don't guarantee that. Don't promise that to the fans.
I feel confident that I could.
Did you know the Joker comes out tomorrow?
This next
who?
one is the
Who?
Dark Knight Rises.
Ooh yeah.
Now, well,
I have
unfortunately,
this.
you have this steel case.
Yeah, I do because I have 4 versions of the Dark Knight Rises.
Holy shit.
I have the original steel case. I have the DVD. I have the steel case. I have the Dark Knight Rises collector's edition. Then I have the
Boy.
Dark Knight Trilogy collector's edition. I would love to break in the back and get it, but I can't right now.
So I'm
But I'm gonna
iffy
get
on
it.
this one for a couple of reasons. One, what was that movie with just like the rubble on the back? It was like Star Trek or something. To me, this feels very similar to that, and it still has like a bunch of this garbage like text and stuff at the bottom. As for the front, I like it. I actually love the design, but I don't like all the names up there. Because I think for something like Batman, you don't need any words, right? This is so iconic that you don't need to have anything written there. And I think the font they chose for Dark Knight Rises doesn't fit for me at all. So a couple things bring it down, unfortunately. But if it was just a couple little changes, could really bring it up higher on my list. But unfortunately for me, it's going to be
Ooh,
This
that's
is just for
very
the
nice.
pure
Just top
video
10.
listeners of my look at that shit right there. Oof. So
a bunch of
good.
books. And
That's
things.
very, very nice.
I love that cover because I love the simplicity of the mask. My ultimate edition.
But then they confuddle it with a bunch of names and like the title.
Yeah, I don't think it's like number 1 or it might not even be in the top 3, but I like it. It's high end. That mask breaking, the imagery of it is so good, and it's iconic because they use that a lot. And that scene is, I think, the best scene in the movie, so it's the way to go. I think I have no problem with the font. I like the color. The back to me is different because it's just black and it's rain. That's fine. The Star Trek one is just a mess. You can't tell what's going on.
Yeah.
Where this, it's wet, it's watery. My ultimate edition when I got that as well.
It's wet and watery.
I came with a plastic
distinction.
mold of the
cannot
mask.
go without the
Oh,
other.
that's cool.
Yeah. I had to
That's
get rid of
really-
it.
Oh,
but
damn.
and they only made 14,000 of these.
I'm very much on the same. That's a lot. 14,000.
But only.
I like the symbolism with the helmet, but
It's a cow.
it's not.
Kyle Draughton Noon.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like. I'd put it right under Godzilla.
Right under there.
Honestly.
Now, this is
Where I'm
probably...
putting it.
It might be definitely top 3, probably or top 2 for my favorite steel cases I have. Django Unchained.
Oh yeah.
This one is just gorgeous.
See, I love the front, but I don't like the D is silent on the back. That
Oh, I
really
think
takes
it's-
away from me. And these guys better give shit to the writing on top of that, because that's also, but it'll be Django. Oh no, Tarantino, but no, the writing's the same thing. I think all the dialogue.
I mean, we all know Tarantino gets a free pass on it.
Yeah, of course, all the time. But I don't like I love the cover, but the text really ruins it for me. Especially the back is literally, it just says the D is silent. You don't need that.
I like the shade of red. I feel like I feel like I should like this one more than I do. I don't know what it's missing, but I'm not in love with it.
That was the cover for our retro of Django,
Yes.
by the way.
Yeah.
I like to do art styles. Taylor loves to do just the posters. Always bugs me.
No, I don't.
Just wait for that solo commentary track to
I edited
the most
that. That is 2 images
the
combined.
most boring images yet you've ever made, which is wrong, because lately you've been on a roll with all these images. So when I got that, I was very surprised.
It's prime. It's them walking, and has the Millennium Falcon faded into them
it's
as they're
nothing.
walking.
He was like,
So
show me
good.
some art, and then I sent him like 4 things, like all these are beautiful, and you did this one.
That's
Do
some
you got a
cool-
solo
cool
still
art.
case?
The inside art is
no.
actually really good. That's a good
Tried.
point.
The inside art, very cool.
Yeah, it's really
it's
cool.
a horse with a bunch of chains.
That brings
for
it up for me a
legs.
little bit.
I will say,
I'm mostly
nice.
focused on the exterior though.
yeah, I was.
Oh yeah. The
none of my
exterior is the main sort of thing.
none of my
the
rankings
showcase
taken
here.
to the interior. I haven't looked at a lot of them, so I'm
Mhm.
exempt from that. That's like
I do want to say the
upper
weight's
tier.
really nice for this one. I
Mhm.
haven't been mentioning it for a bunch of other ones because it hasn't been noticeable. But I like the weight a lot on this one, and yeah, I'm not sold. I don't really dislike it a lot, but it feels a little out of place. The D is silent on the back. Not a huge fan of it. I think it would be better without it, but I love the front. So this is a bit of a tricky one for me.
What's next?
Okay, now that is it for movies. Now we're moving into the game.
That's it for movies.
That is it for
So you
movies.
save those for okay.
So we're gonna transfer over lists. Now, next on for games,
And
is
also, you were wrong when you saying Dark Knight Rises was gonna bump some of my top 3?
I thought it would, but then I
No.
looked at the front and I realized, plus I forgot that you had it. So,
That's true.
damn.
Moving to the games.
I got Super Mario Brothers 2 for the Nintendo 3DS.
Holy crap! There's a steel case for games.
That's way too bulky.
Wow.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
This is quite bulky.
I bought that at Future Shop separately. It did not include the game
That's
in
at
it.
XXL
I love
size.
Luigi on the back holding the coins.
you-
But the
If you buy
barcode ruins
that, does the
it.
game
That's a
come
really
with
big
it, though?
barcode.
No, I bought the game separately, and that was like $3 at Future Shop. So I was
Oh,
like,
you know what
Oh,
I
it's only
hate,
$3. Okay, that's
You know
not
what I
bad.
hate? The Luigi that's on the back is the same one that's on the front.
Yeah, that one's pretty low for me, to be honest. I like the idea, but it got really lazy.
I like the color scheme. Yeah, it's just a little lacking, unfortunately.
I'm a
Yep.
big disliker of the barcode.
Not, and it's just white on the inside. That's just lazy.
Just lazy.
And you have to put the actual case on the inside.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not cool.
Is it even steel? It feels like it's mostly plastic.
It's definitely tin. I can confirm. Maybe copper, but I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
Yes,
next?
This
yes,
is
Reggie.
very low on me.
Next one I got is
Ver-
Assassin's
I
Creed
would
3 Liberation. And this is a juicy one because they were on sale at Future Shop, and I bought 2 of them.
Why they okay? First of all, we don't need to see them both, but
I'll see one of them.
I'll see the other one.
why are they so fucking big?
Those
Video
are
game
for
ones.
PlayStation Vita. That game came out.
Well, because
Show me the
you,
back.
you need to
Rick.
put the actual. I don't even know.
No, but I mean, why can't just have the disc in there? We don't need the packaging.
Well, this wasn't for disc. Remember, this is for the little cartridge. for
Well,
the
I know
Vita.
you told me that now, but just put the little cartridge in there. Ah, yeah, I'm not. That one's pretty low.
I don't know.
This one feels incredibly uninspired.
This gaming one
This
sucks.
one's like right above Mario for me.
Also, you probably can't see in the camera, but this whole background is out of focus. But the sails on the ship are startlingly
focused.
in focus.
Yeah.
Like those
Compared to
fucking
the
sails.
rest, and it really messes with your frame of
I would agree with
reference.
that.
Sorry, Taylor. Assassin's Creed shits a bit again. That's a bottom.
No, that's
Also,
a
if
spin-off
that's
game.
a
It's
person,
fine.
That's a
right
bottom
there,
3 for
that
me.
looks like it's a person.
I-
Their height compared to the houses is just not real.
You know what I would have liked instead is if there was actually just the Assassin's Creed
This
logo
is
instead of the words
straight to
Assassin's
the
Creed
bottom.
Liberation. I think that would have been better. But I think for video games, maybe it makes sense.
Are
that you
these
need
both
the
the
name.
same? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, they're both at the bottom.
Wow.
They're both at the bottom.
Jesus.
So next, one of my favorite steel cases, it's great, is I got a steel case for Xbox Live.
What the fuck?
Now, when
is
the
that?
X-
that is crazy.
When the Xbox
That's
One
really
came
cool.
out, When the Xbox One came
Mad
out,
props to that.
they let you buy your year's worth of Xbox
oh my
Live
god!
for day one,
What's on the other side?
and you get a steel card or a metal card where your code
I'm not
for
basing-
Xbox
that's
Live
so
is on.
cool.
I'm not basing it off the card
Can I
though.
s-
What's on the
Yeah.
back?
Oh my
It has
goodness.
the code for Xbox, your year's worth of Xbox
Don't show
Live.
that on camera.
It's redeemed. It's fine.
I'm joking.
But it's a sleek, sweet case. I remember I got my day one console. I got this. I just totally like splurged out at EB
As
Games.
an idea, it's fine, but it does not.
It
Stack
costed
up
the
to
same as
these.
regular Xbox
No,
Live
I'm not
for
saying
the
that's
year.
right. I'm
Travis,
saying
I'm on the complete opposite end. This is like what steel cases are for. It's like that extra over-the-top fan moment.
That's fine, but I'm just
And-
going off design. There's nothing to
Yeah,
look at. It's just
But it looks,
nice.
it's nice though. It's just sleek. You
It's
know,
the big thing. Like you get it day one, 2013. You don't need anything on
Last
the back.
place for me.
Although you have to keep in mind that it does have this cover over top,
Yeah.
which is
I
more
don't
like to
need
sell
it,
it.
but
And
yeah.
I don't like this. If it was just that, I'd like
Mhm.
it more. But to me, it's still like clearly above the Hobbit. All this Hobbit garbage.
This is like the inside of it with the steel card. That's really cool.
Mhm.
So this goes over it.
yeah, that's dead last for me.
See,
Yikes.
I don't think you should incorporate this into the case. You should just toss this. Honestly.
I should. I like it
And
because
just
I
remove this.
I like having that extra layer. I guess on top
Toss
of
it,
it.
Taylor, right
Toss
now.
it. Just fucking
Burn
throw
it.
Yeah.
It makes it
Um,
non-steel. What's next, Taylor? Go ahead.
I got another Assassin's Creed title.
Oh.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
What's
Okay, so
the-
that
that's
one's
what I'm
better.
talking about.
That's
I want to
better.
see the logo on the front,
Let's see the back end. there.
and I quite like that. It's what's his face?
Connor Kenway
Connor Kenway.
or Edward. Sorry, Edward Kenway.
Oh,
so
you're
many
no
Kenways.
fan. Yeah, I like it.
This is actually quite nice. I really like this one. I would like if this was textured, but
Mhm.
it's not a huge gripe. I quite like this one. I like that the name's not on the front. I like that there's no words on the back. I like that there's not a fucking giant ass barcode of this guy's dick. I like this one a lot. This one for me is easily top 10.
Easily top 10. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Briggs is busy.
All right, so we're
Get the garbage
we're
ones
doing
out of
two
there.
stacks. Those are all the garbage ones that are like their ranking.
At the end of the day,
isn't
top 10
really-
is the most important.
It's not really relevant
Yeah.
where those go. Yeah, I like this a lot. There's literally no text on the back or the front. And love the logo. Well done.
Very pirate-like.
Mm-hmm. The
What's up?
inside brightens it up a little bit, which is an interesting design choice. And it's a different shot of Connor on the inside, which isn't great, but it's not bad either.
His name's Edward.
I'm calling him Connor.
It's
Satacana.
okay. I did that too. It's totally fine.
Satacana.
Next up here, we got another Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
Assassin's Creed
God.
Origins. This also
Origins.
has a plastic sleeve, but I took it off so
Yeah,
you
we don't
guys
want
could.
that. I'm liking
really
that
be actual
back.
So I've
steel.
actually played Assassin's Creed Origins.
Show me that glorious back right there.
It's a
Oh
nice
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm digging that one.
This one's quite nice, yeah. Once again, has the symbol up here with the Ujet eye. It doesn't have the name. It doesn't have anything like a giant barcode in the back. I quite like this one. Once again, Assassin's Creed is popping off.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that the bow is kind of distinguished. Yeah, that's a nice one. It's got the Egypt vibes.
Oh, that's a really nice front.
But it's not trying to hit you over the head like, hey, I'm
Mhm.
from
And
Egypt.
then very, very good. I appreciate this.
Another one I got here
That's
is
a nice one. Oh, that inside.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
Another very interesting steel case.
Ubisoft with the design team.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do as well. This one I still like, but to me it's a little bit under the other Assassin's Creed ones that we just talked about. But it's still quite nice. Still quite nice. Once again, doesn't overwhelm you with what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
That's like
How many more Assassin's Creeds do you got?
middle for me.
That's all for steel cases for Assassin's Creed.
That's fair.
Next, I got NHL 13, which has popped up in the gauntlet before. You can
NHL
definitely take the
13.
plastic cover off. It's got a very nice finish on that.
Stanley Cup. The back is just a more Stanley Cup.
This was the first
I didn't
actual
like
I
that.
thought this
time.
was textured, but you ripped off the sticker.
I did, yeah. Fucking horrible experience.
I don't like it's the same thing. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
This is the first time that EA actually did a special edition for NHL, so I definitely snagged that while I could.
Yeah. Bum pack. Oh, is it feel? That's nice. I don't like
Yeah.
the back.
Yeah, so you can feel all the layers of the cup, which is nice. The back, unfortunately, is the same sort of thing, but
Stanley Cup with winners
it's decent.
listed.
It's close to being great, but unfortunately, it's Gonna fall a bit short. It's not grabbing the cup this year.
Front.
I got another one here for Halo 4.
Oh, that is crisp. Very white with a little bit of classic Halo sort of designs. Very textured. You want to feel that texture? Nice texture. It's a little bit boring, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, bitch.
But I like that it doesn't say Halo.
Yeah, Halo.
I actually quite like the NHL 13 one.
I quite like this from a side view, the Halo 4. Yeah, this one's all right. I think it's a little bland.
A little bland. Yeah.
Like, because you want a level of simplicity with the steel case, but yet you still want some character. I think this one has simplicity, but it doesn't quite have character.
Yeah, I think.
But I like the white.
Even if like this stripe continued like into a bigger design on the back, something like that, it just feels like the back was just lazy. The front is nice, but they need to do something with the back, and the inside's actually pretty cool. I don't mind it, but feels a little uninspiring. Drop that down.
This is one of my favorites I got here. Star Wars Force Unleashed 2.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
This one is a very, very nice one.
Yeah, I like that finish, too.
Skyrocket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like this one.
Show me that Vader
I want
back.
a little bit more like LED effect, like the Star Wars Last Jedi or whatever it was on the lightsaber. But
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
That Vader's looking spiffy, though.
He's looking spiff, yeah. Not my cup of tea, but I think it's well made.
I'm a big fan of this one.
It's good to
Absolutely loved Force. What is this?
Unleashed?
Unleashed. I want to say Force Awakens. I was like, that's not right. Great games. First one much better than the second one in my opinion, but that's just how it is. What do we got under here? Ooh, that's another good inside of the cover. Great shot of Star Killer.
Force Unleashed is definitely high up.
The back of this one just doesn't live up to the front, in my opinion. I just don't think it has that same feeling. I get why they put Darth Vader on it, but
I'm loving it. He almost
the
blends
pose.
the case.
There's not a lot you can do with the Darth Vader poses, but I don't know. It's a toughie. I think it's the best of the video game steel cases, but yeah.
My next one coming up is for Star Wars Force Unleashed 1. Now, this one is definitely a generic kind of full-on Xbox 360 style. But if you open it up and look inside at the Darth Maul collector's card that they threw in there,
but
that's
no.
Now, they did this steel case.
Is the Darth Maul collector's card steel?
They did this steel case. Now, they released the game normally, and this is a re-release of the game that included all of the Sith DLC. So it's where you recruit Luke Skywalker as a Sith and everything.
This is not a steel case. Yes, it's made of steel, but this is just a regular
just
game
a tin.
This is nothing. I don't like this one at all. Bottom.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that
Not
they
that it
put
looks
that
bad.
on
It's just
top.
we're talking about steel cases here, you know.
Yeah.
Second bottom.
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
just a regular game case that happens to be steel.
That's the perfect way to say it.
I do appreciate the Darth Maul cover card, but
What's next?
Now I got one for
Not doing great.
This one specifically, Gears of War Judgment. Now it was Black Friday at Future Shop, and this was a panic
That is
buy.
a gigantic barcode.
Yeah, that's
Holy
disgusting.
This is not on the
Is it
steel.
steel?
It's still wrapped.
Why?
There's no game in it. It
Oh.
was
Let me see.
$2.50 from Future Shop, and it was a panic buy. I saw it, and I just want it because
They sold just
First
the
of
case?
all,
just the steel case.
Why
What
did
the
you
fuck?
buy? Not even liking that back. Why did you buy one for Judgment? Notoriously the worst game in the franchise.
It was a steel case. I
That's
had
not
money. I
not-
was 15 or 16
Very
years old.
wait until Briggs gets a hold of that very flimsy steel going on right there as well. That's
It was a serious panic buy. I wanted it, but the thing is, I got the
This one makes
collectors.
me sick. I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
vomit.
Star Trek. You're fortunately going up because these gaming cases are coming in and just shit in the bed.
I got the collectors for Gears 3, and that did not give me a steel case. It's straight up plastic.
Briggs
which is
didn't even talk about that
disappointing.
one. He just discarded it.
no.
Briggs
Next
looked
one.
I
visibly
refuse to
frustrated.
acknowledge that
He
game.
visibly looked frustrated.
I had honestly forgotten that game existed for at least a few months, and I'm very upset that I'm reminded
What's
of it.
next?
Next, I got this is another panic buy from Future Shop on a Black Friday. It is Battlefield 4. I think it's
Isn't-
Battlefield 4. Maybe it's
Show
I
me the
don't like
front
that
of
you're
that.
keeping
It's
it in
a
the plastic.
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
either.
a
It is
fan of
Battlefield
that.
4.
But that's just this regular cover of the video game too.
Yeah.
It's just that's another low one.
This one's very boring. I kind of like the. This actually looks like a Pink Floyd cover called "Obscured by Clouds," which is kind of just like this very unfocused, kind of almost pixelated effect or something. So I like the idea of it, but the front is dead boring.
I don't know. I can't decide between that and Gears. Which one's worse?
Yeah, they're both.
But you bought them. Why you go? They're both low.
I was young. I was
Okay, fair
panicky. I just had money. I was like, let's do
Horny
it.
for steel cases.
I don't know. I'll go. I'll go.
Not a big fan.
Just a little lower than.
I should have brought my one steel
Gears.
case that I
You
had.
should have. Next one I got is Black Ops 1.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Wasn't that still the same cover as the game?
Me like it.
It
I
is.
like it though.
It is, but I love this because the classified kind of blends in. Like you can't see it
Yeah.
at all angles.
I like it. It is the same.
And that back logo is just godlike. I love that
back
color
is
scheme.
But
This one's
sick.
climbing up high for me.
Here's the
Top
difference.
10.
Here's the difference between that and the Battlefield. The Battlefield one's the exact same. That is the same cover as the original game, but the aesthetic and the color is different. It's
And the
not.
classified.
No. The cover of original Black Ops 1 is different from this.
It's
like
dark.
it's a dark, shadowy figure with the two guns up. like
Okay,
this.
well, yeah,
This
there you
is
go.
our
But that's, I
origin
mean,
in
at
the
least it's
game.
darker. Yeah, that one's pretty high for me. What is that, Black Ops?
I like
1?
that.
Black
Like the
Ops.
gun and the bracelet are holographic, whereas the rest of like the body,
All the
person
g-
himself.
All the game ones are top 10 or high, or just very bottom. There's no middle ground. They're either really
Yeah,
good or they're
the
really
back
awful.
Is really good. That's top of the stack there.
So another one we got is Black Ops 2.
Okay.
So this will be a good
Interesting.
comparison to see if they
I'm,
went up
I'm
or
not
down.
sure. Just first glance, I don't know how I feel about it, but
Eh.
I also have really high hopes for it.
The front is very, very boring. The back
Yeah.
is all right, but nothing to write home about. After seeing the first game, like that's not the sequel you want to see.
Yeah.
I don't like thematically. I just don't like the back, even though I've never played the game. And yeah, like it feels really like B tier compared to Black Ops 1.
Just out of curiosity, how many steel cases do we have left?
That was it. But I have one treat,
snap.
actually. And this was actually something
Ooh, a
that popped
treat.
up on a podcast a few times ago. We were talking about Left 4 Dead, and I talked about a story about I got a Left 4 Dead game where someone like tried redesigning the case for it.
Okay.
So I brought that so you guys can critique
Holy
it and
shit.
grade it.
Ooh.
So I got this at a pawn shop
Oh boy,
for Left 4 Dead 2.
I'm excited.
Well,
What the fuck is this? Why is this on my podcast? We're supposed to be doing steel cases. Why is this here?
It was mentioned on a podcast before. This
You're
is a
so
special
lucky.
treat.
I want to throw that across the room right now.
Sally called Spitter spits acid at survivors.
I really enjoyed someone taking the time to draw this and put it in the
appreciate
case.
The
yeah, I'm
the
not
effort
offended that you brought this.
I'm not even
like,
ranking
clearly
that.
it's not on the list of steel
I'm not
cases,
ranking
but-
that.
No, you don't have to
Get
rank
that
it.
the
It's
fuck
still-
out of my house.
Left
You're
4
never
Dead
allowed back
2
in here.
Safe
Jeez.
house. You can see there's buildings on fire in the distance in the sky.
Is that the last
Oh,
case?
he's doing the thing there. You can see he tried to like cross out this character. He started drawing in the background.
Okay. I'm going to read off my list here. I got it ready to go. I don't know how many there are, but I'm going to go bottom to top. Xbox Live, boom, bottom. That one's fucking boring as hell. Force Unleashed, Battlefield, Gears, that Gears one, Star Trek, After, I'm not going to say why. You guys just listen to me talk about why. After, Assassin's Creed, I don't know which one.
There's
'Cause
like
I ha-
7, dude.
Which one? I have Origins of Odyssey up higher. What was the other Assassin's Creed you had? Oh, that Vita game.
Liberation.
Yeah, that one there, very bottom tier there. Rise, Empire 300, Battle 5 Army, Smog. Those are all just like the bottom, like these suck or not good. These are like the middle, they're okay. Super Mario Bros., NHL, Black Ops, Halo, Transformer, Man of Steel, Thor, and Black Flag, and Hobbit. And then this comes up to like the B tier of like, I like them, has some problems, but I like them. Amazing Spider-Man, Days of Future Past, Django, Aussies, Origin. And then these are the ones I really like. Black Ops 1, Force Awakens, Lego Batman, Force Unleashed 2, Dark Knight Rises, and my top 3, Godzilla, Infinity War, and Guardians. Guardians is a clear number 1 for me. So there you go. Those are Taylor Steel cases ranked. You got some really nice ones. You're really 50-50 for me. You got some really beautiful ones. You got some really garbage ones, some really middle of class ones. So
A
That's
good.
wild.
You honestly have the full array. Me and Briggs, we're just gonna do our top 5 here. Coming in at number 5 is the Godzilla case. While the back maybe is lacking a bit, the front is just so good.
Oh yeah, just absolutely wonderful
Yeah.
front.
Number 4 is Avengers. I guess this is Infinity War, right?
Sure is.
Yep.
I mean, who doesn't like that beautiful Infinity Gauntlet and that
Mhm.
moon and shit in the background?
I really wanted to put this one higher, but I think there's a lot of missed opportunities with having
It could be a bit shiny.
the shine, like having each of the stones like holographic kind
Right.
of glow, and each of them have a shine. You can hardly even see the time stone on the side here.
Yeah, that's
There's not even like a
heartbreaking.
green hue to it, and I don't like that. Like the planet in the background is just some like
Some planet.
it's just some planet.
Should be
Mhm.
Mars.
It would have been cool if they had like it as like Earth, or if they had it as Titan in the background as something that's like some sort of reference to the film at least.
Number 3 is Black Ops 1. We talked about this one just a minute ago. This is a beautiful case. This has the classified, which is very, very unique. That back, look at that color scheme. That is just beautiful.
Yeah, I really appreciate this
jealous
one.
of that.
As a video game screen, it's actually like, it looks like it's a real person here, not like an animated character. Like I love the scene from Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, but like it's clearly a CGI person. Whereas
Yeah.
this one, like you could have this as like a proper movie case if you didn't know like it was a.
And that's my second favorite Call of Duty game. So
Yeah.
there you go. Number 2 is going to be Batman. I mean, it's simple. Yes, it's poster artwork, but like, holy shit. It's pretty nice, you know?
Yeah,
Makes
it
sense.
really just nailed all the themes of the film in this one.
All the themes are nailed. There's so many themes.
Big
that are
disagreement on that one.
nailed. Number 1 is
Just-
Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, this is beautiful. As Briggs mentioned, it's got the inside that has just as much character as the outside. This one is beautiful. This one's clever. This one's shiny. This one's got it's got it all.
Yeah, this is like the steel case. Like
It
this is
the
what you
definitive
expect
steel case.
from a steel case. This is the standard that you hold all your steel cases to.
Damn, that's a high standard.
I don't know if Guardians
That's
2.
why
that
uh,
exists.
That's why
I
I
think-
only own one, because my standards
Yes.
are that high.
I don't know if Guardians 2 followed up with an awesome steel case.
It's okay
or not,
to
but
Yeah.
have below standard.
Well, you didn't buy
steel
it, so
cases, honestly.
yeah, Target didn't have it. They went out of business.
rip Target.
Taylor, where can they find us?
They can find us in the search bar with
Clay,
Internet
thanks for the
Connection.
fun topic idea. That was fun. To
Thank you very much, Clay. I hope you enjoyed every waking ounce of this. Because
Yeah,
I, really
hope
did.
you enjoyed that. You
This
paid
was
for
fantastic.
that, man.
This is
Yeah,
good. But yeah, find us with your internet connection in the search bar, Geek for Space Podcast on Facebook, social media, all over the place. Most importantly, on Patreon, where you can get lots of other fantastic content very early.
You can make a topic like this. When any tier you join, you get a question, you get a topic. So people that have joined, throw those at us right now.
Mhm.
In the future, if you have a topic you want to talk about, news, something fun like this, you want to see rest of Taylor's stupid cases that have drawings on them, whatnot. Maybe he has a bunch of them that him and Ruben have created. Some Rod or Not video game. All the links are down below for video and audio. Please subscribe. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. A 5-star written review would be great, but just a written review will help us out. We're trying to get to 200 reviews. Thank you very much. The next time you hear from us will be the fucking Joker, and I cannot wait. It will not be boring.
Thanks for listening, everyone. I love
Bye-bye.
all of you. And I will see you
Later.
next time.